what I want. It's even worse when I start to fight it, 'cause I'm loving what you got me on. I could never ever be without you, 'cause I need you in my face. I keep telling everybody there is nothing like your taste. Mama, so be careful what you do. Now I got nothing left, I spend it all on you. But I will lose it all again.
See.
Even if another minute, another second is all I'm gonna get, I will lose it all again. Try going a week without you, but what's the use in that? If I can't even make it a day, no wishing you'll be in my place. Oh, I just need you and I need you back. I could never ever be without you, 'cause I need you in my face. I keep telling everybody there is nothing like your taste. Mama said be careful what you do. Now I got nothing left, I spend it all on you. But I will lose it all again, just to feel you on my skin. Even if another minute, another second is all I'm gonna get, I will lose it all again. I will lose it all again. I will lose it all again. Nothing I wouldn't do. I'm never walking away, 'cause my body knows I'm home when I'm seeing your face. And I'm never letting it fade, 'cause my body knows I'm home when I'm seeing your face. You'll never be alone. You know I'll never let you go. No, I can make it better. We'll take it head on. We'll make it out together. I'll be there to lift you when you're down. There's nothing I wouldn't do. There's nothing I wouldn't do. I'm never walking away, 'cause my body knows I'm home when I'm seeing your face. And I'm never letting it fade, 'cause my body knows I'm home when I'm seeing your face. I'm never walking away, 'cause my body knows I'm home when I'm seeing your face. And I'm never letting it fade, 'cause my body knows I'm home when I'm seeing your face. You'll never be alone. You know I'll never let you go. There's nothing I wouldn't do. You'll never be alone. You know I'll never let you go. There's nothing I wouldn't do. I'm never walking away, 'cause my body knows I'm home when I'm seeing your face. don't need somebody when I got you to hold. I can't see the future, some things you just know. And the way that you love me, I can never say no. Cause you give me this feeling, it's the best thing I know. 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 For the first time and I can't go back. Cause now I'm finally seeing what I always had. Lost in all the confusion, oh it hurts so bad. And no, it hurts me just as much to tell you that there's things I haven't told you, but I still need to say I'm sorry. It's not too late to show you I've always felt this way. Somebody when I got you to hold. I can't see the future, some things you just know. And the way that you love me, I can never say no. Cause you give me this feeling, it's the best thing I know. It's the best thing I know. You're the best thing I know.
Tell me now if you love me. It's the end of time. I'll slow it down and wait another second just to call you mine.
that you bought in LA, the one you got when it started to rain. Take it all, take it all. 'Cause it's so much harder to even get started getting over you. When you leave behind these bittersweet reminders, don't know what to do. So burn the sheets and memories of you and me. Oh, help me erase you. I can't sleep when you don't sit with me. So burn the sheets and help me erase you. Oh, help me erase you. Erase you. Oh, help me erase you. All this time I've prayed our worlds collide. Now that I've got you here, say you won't leave my side. Will you stay for more than the weekend? I wanna make you mine till the day we die. So many long nights on my own, and you're the only one that I want. Nobody else, nobody like you. Together is where we belong. There's only room for you in my arms. Nobody else, nobody like you. Oh, there's just nobody else. Nobody else, nobody Give me something to hold on to, to hold on to. Give me something to hold on to, to hold on to. Give me something.
That look in your eyes across my face, like a neon color painted glowing red. I took all the signs and looked away. Had a million other reasons to forget. So I play and pretend that I'm only your friend, but I do it again. My heart just won't understand. We should come to an end, but I do it again, do it
searching for the answer to our trials. We came so far through our weakness. We found a love, even the stars between us won't marry us. One day we can be together, and this moment could last forever. I say that you and I have found a piece of heaven, so I pray we can be together one day. So I pray we can be together one day.
No, you drive me crazy, baby. You got me turning to another man. Call you on the phone, no one's home. And if you wasn't for the music, I don't want what I do. Last night the DJ saved my life. Last night the DJ saved my life, yeah. 'Cause I was sitting bored to death. And in just one breath you said, you gotta get up, you gotta get off, you gotta get down, girl. Last night the DJ saved my life. Last night a DJ saved my life. Last night a DJ saved my life from a broken heart. Last night a DJ saved my life. Last night a DJ saved my life with a song. Last night a DJ saved my life. Last night a DJ saved my life, yeah. 'Cause I was sitting bored to death. And in just one breath you say, you gotta get up, you gotta get off, you gotta get down, girl. You know you drive me crazy, baby. You got me turning to another man. Call you on the phone, no one's home. And if you wasn't for the music, I don't want what I do. Last night a DJ saved my life. Last night a DJ saved my life from a broken heart. Last night a DJ saved my life. Last night a DJ saved my life
happiness. So let no one destroy this house. Let no one mess up this house. Only let the people in who's gonna know how to make this house the house of love. 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 The house of love.
Forget of me, the devil trying to take control of me. Haters still trying to get rid of me. I come from nothing, the Lord is my witness. I've been on my grind and now that's a part of me. Ladies is feeling me, can't get enough of me. They fall in love with me, ready to marry me. Damn. Oh Lord, how could you ever forget of me? The devil trying to take control of me. Haters still trying to get rid of me. They told me no, I had to insist that that was a lie. You gotta resist, can't take control of me. I got the Lord with me. Went from the street to the stage, up is proud of me.
Guten Abend. That was pretty cool, wasn't it? Not gonna lie, that video was pretty dang. Welcome back, ladies and gents. We are finally here to get ready and underway for our last 2 games, potentially 3 actually, 3 series with the grand final. But we've got our losers final going to start very, very shortly. Thank you very much for all your patience. We are now going to finally get it underway here between Vitalize Black and Team Toki. And the man grooving to the side of me is pretty much raring to go. How are you, Mr. Pabs?
I am hype. I love a bit of metal. You can't beat a bit of metal before anything. Proper distorted guitars. But yeah, I am proper ready and ready to go for this. I've been sat in slumber all day long, and I needed some Call of Duty, mate, and you provided it as ever. I'm so excited for these 2 games.
Yeah, so our first one.
Overexcited?
Yeah, oh mate, you can never be too overexcited for this. Obviously, there's a big old chunk of change going on between these last 3 teams. So obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, this one that we've got is losers final between Vitalize Black and Team Toki. And the way the bracket has gone is meaning that Mistaken Esports are that team waiting in the grand final. So whoever comes out on top of this one, Pablo, has got a hell of a mission up against those boys. Oh, Mr. Grim with the sub. Thank you very much, Mr. Grimmy. What a handsome man. And yeah, so whoever comes out of this one, Pabs, they've still got to take 2 best of 5s off Mistaken Esports. So we are in for potentially an absolutely stacked evening of COD.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, you win this and you go through to the final, and you're going to face a team. You might take the first map and feel super confident. They're going to come back strong because they are absolutely the kind of team that just starts so slow at the blocks, but when they finish, man, it is like bouncing right the way through. They've decimated some teams on the way and really kind of like turn things around. But this, you got to get through this game first, mate, and this is going to be an absolute belter as well. 12 stack players. Yeah. But this is going to be super interesting as well. And what a have we got a confirmation on maps now? Do we know what our maps are going to be?
We do know what the maps. It is a triple Tuscan. So we have Berlin Hardpoint, Desert Siege Search. So at least the lads that kind of lend us in and lead us in a little bit gently. And then we have triple Tuscan to round out the series. So a bit of an odd setup for this one. Normally you kind of see Tuscan as the bread in the sandwich, don't we, for a map 1 and a map 5 and stuff. But we've got a triple Tuscan towards the end of the series. And the way that we've actually seen quite a few of these series unfold, it wouldn't surprise me if we need every single last one of those Tuscans.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to be going game 5. Both of these, both the winners final and the grand final are both going to be game 5s. We've said this before, and we tend to be reticent about making predictions, but I don't know. This is wild. These teams are so close at times, and there's so many players to look out for, so many storylines. Obviously, with we've got our kind of like our players that we followed right the way through from all kinds of weird positions, and obviously Big Felix is going to feature tonight, so we're always on the lookout to try and throw him some support because he's been one of the players we followed right the way through. But obviously the rest of his team is reasonably stacked, and now we know that Divil will rock a sniper in S&D. We've got that to look forward to. And obviously then on the other side, we've got, the effervescent Fudzy, because he is just, one player who can just slide into any team and do really, really well. But again, I said it before to you, Major, I know you haven't had a chance to cast over many of the rest of the team in Team Toki, but Joker is one to watch. He can be really, really good and take over the map, so definitely one to think about.
Yeah, I say that. I mean, they've got here, so any players that kind of come in at this level and this stage, they're going to have something about them. So it wouldn't surprise me here if we get a lot of good players. Obviously, we flagged up Corey yesterday for his ankle-breaking moments in the Search and Destroy, and we're kind of obviously praying for the same thing this evening between these two teams. So we are just waiting on, I believe, one more player. I believe it is Mr. Divil himself. But yeah, hopefully Pablo in that Desert Siege, we will see a couple of snipers. Obviously, as a map that we're so accustomed now to at least seeing one sniper at some point in that map, and hopefully Mr. Divil can provide it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you would hope there would be a snipe off in some way, but again, the other team a little bit harder to read. I'm not sure who would take that role in Team Toki's side.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want to see that. You've got to see that. It's going to be exciting, and at least we're going to see like a really tactical S&D. Desert Siege is a wild one. It's huge. It's got kind of multi-platform. It's got these different levels, and again, it's a really difficult one where you can find yourself exposed quite easily, and we do tend to see kind of large periods of no action and then just absolute flurry of kills. So it's going to be fun, and then we head into that triple Tuscan, and I mean, Tuscan control, mate.
Yeah.
Why are people doing it to themselves? Is it being made easier that while we were away overnight? Because it is still a nightmare control to deal with, especially if you get that attack inside. So always a risk as well, I think, if you're the team choosing that. But again, we've seen some interesting strategies over the last 2 days, mate. I'm not going to lie. Control has started to really get into the top AM lexicon in terms of like how they get out their strategies and how they execute them.
Yeah, and big shout out to Mr. Raps with the gifted sub. Thank you very much, man, for a kind gentleman. So, guys, yeah, losers final should be on the way very, very shortly. We're just waiting on the guys to pick their respective sides. Everyone is in the lobby. Apologies for the delays. The guys were just sorting all their various vetoes and stuff out. For a second, we thought maybe the game might not go ahead, Pablo, but we've got it nonetheless. And yeah, we're up for potential.
It's ready to fume.
Yeah,
how it's going.
Yeah, well, we've got it nonetheless. Obviously, the drama playing with our emotions, but we're ready to go for this one. And again, I mean, regardless of how these last few series end, we've had another really, really amazing season in the ACCL. It just seems to get better and better every single season.
Yeah, absolutely, and I mean it's a testament to the organisation and to the sheer determination in the guys that run it. And obviously, we know Prezi was like up till all hours last night. He's taken today off in order to be able to best administer it and just wants it to be as fair as possible. And obviously, within the rule set, Dennis also just tries to be as accommodating for the difficulties that teams face. So again, you've just got to give a big shout out to the amount of work that himself and the boys behind the scenes, like Rayman, like Raps, like. I don't know all the admins, but those guys who've really yems, before he had his baby, they've just done an absolute, work right there. And, without this, like, there is no real pipeline. If there's no real opportunity for someone like Higgy or F-Dot to be able to get into the really top kind of teams or really start to get their name out there. So it's a really good pipeline, and obviously, hopefully, it'll go on to expand and do even better.
Yeah, so guys, we are pretty much ready to go for our map number 1 here between Vitalize Black and Team Toki here in the losers final. So remember, whoever comes out of this one, the better will go into the grand final to play the boys of Mistaken Identity. A difficult roster to get through in those boys, but we'll see how this one unfolds. And a man right off the rip going to grab 1 kill is Mr. Felix, and he's a man that we've seen show up in grand finals before, Pablo, and obviously the boys of Vitalize Black again will be hoping he can do exactly the same here with a slightly different roster.
Yeah, I mean, we're so used to seeing him dominate really effectively, but lately, obviously, he's playing with these players who are just a different standard to the kind of like lower division teams, and they do kind of live in those rarefied circles. So we don't see him go off as much, but when he does, he can take control of the map and he shows those sparkles of just sheer brilliance. But right the way across all 8 players, everyone capable at some point of doing it. Ironhide, I think, is the one player right there that I didn't recognise the name when we came out of it. It was Ali, isn't it? He's another player who can absolutely drop bombs. So right now, mate, it is nearly all square. Team Toki managed to take the advantage over on P1, but it is going to be Vitalize Black just going to be contesting over towards P2 right now. And you can see those players trying to sneak into the back. Joker is going to try and get in. He's 0-4 right now, and he's been just dealt with by Divil, who goes off inside mailroom, and that's going to be a big moment for Vitalize Black as they're able to get almost as close as possible to tying things up.
Yeah, so nothing separating the two teams right off the start here. Vitalize Black, they will now see the lead change in their favour. They still have a few players, though, located out towards the back. Joker going to be one of them, flies around the corner and makes light work there of Ross. Divil will fall as well, courtesy of his automaton shot. So looks as though Vitalize Black, they are just going to look to the rotation over towards the next hill. With only 10 seconds remaining, though, those red arrows from Team Toki are going to look to start progressing up towards that fire section. And number 8 in Mr. Theo J. Can he manage to grab any more kills? It's going to spot Ross, so there's one for Theo as he likes to try and push his way in towards the hill. Spots Divil as well. Really good work here from Theo. He has got some reinforcements as well, one of which is Ali. Inside the hill he goes, and it looks as though they're still spawning out the back here, but Vitalize Black, they do actually manage to work a pinch courtesy of Mr. Ross J. For a second, though, it looked as though Team Toki were going to hold potentially quite a bit of time there, but good work from the boys in blue.
Yeah, absolutely. Ali goes off. Theo J goes off to tag up 4 players. We do see a team kill go out from Ross J as he lands a nade straight onto Felix's bonds. But it's going to be just a slight advantage, 20 seconds or so, and that was nearly a really nice hold and a really nice break from Vitalize Black. One thing we do know they're capable of is just cutting through teams like butter, especially when they're breaching hill. Whether they can hold that against a team with the kind of flexibility that we see from Team Toki is nothing, but kill feed, you know, you would say majority blue at the minute, but are they turning it really into time? Again, just not as efficient as their brethren in red, and this is going to be a big transition as Vitalize already look to get set up. And major, one thing we have a conversation about all the time is that commitment to the next hill. Well, Vitalize Black have committed strong over towards this trademark hill.
Yeah, so they are just going to play the difficult card, really, of rotating early, losing a bit of time on the previous hill on the hopes that they can hold a big rotation here. And Ross just getting some shots in. Nice work from him. Number 8, Theo, though, has managed to get his way all the way around the back here, and he might be able to at least take the man off the hill, but never mind. Jambo is going to have a sixth sense, spots him out the back, gets the kill. There is still going to be Fudzy as well, the lone man out the back. Is he going to manage to win another one? No, Jambo, just good reads again from him as he gets some important gunfights in the back. And the boys of Vitalize Black don't currently have anyone on the hill. It looks as though Joker and the boys are going to look to try and send someone there, as Theo is going to trade out. One man takes down Divil. Can he take down Felix? No, he can't. He manages to stay alive, and this is some important time here for Vitalize Black, Pablo, but they've held this hill really, really well.
Yeah, they've managed to keep themselves in contention, about to potentially tie things up and even maybe take the lead. One thing you gotta like about Felix's ability to play his life, he's very rarely negative, even sometimes if he is barely positive, but big plays. Jambo doing the hard work, finally got tagged up in the end over what you would consider as a much easier opportunity for him, and there is going to be advantage Vitalize Black. And this is one thing we've noticed from them before, where even if they do start slow, they manage to start getting those shots on point. And we're starting to see good kills across the board, although they're not playing the lives very well, very almost close to kind of balanced KDs. But we go into this P5, this kind of wilder of the 5 hills in Berlin, and it's going to be shaping up to be an absolute belter as we're almost on top of each other in terms of time.
So Ali does his best, grabs a couple of kills before he's finally traded out. So Team Toki, I was going to say, looking as though they've got at least the man on the hill. They don't now, because courtesy of Jambo's nade, just knocking Joker straight out of that one. Theo's going to be inside the hill, though, as he looks to try and soak up as much time as he can. He's had a really strong start here, Theo, 18 and 11. His teammates at the moment, though, Fudzy especially, is really struggling in terms of kills, but in terms of the skill and the gunfights, it just feels as though they're not necessarily losing those all-important ones, as the score is still relatively close, but it will be those blue arrows on the side of Vitalize Black, ready to go over towards the next hill. And number 3, Divil, spots Fudzy. There's one. He's going to fly out to the second as well, and Joker are going to do a really good job to take down a couple of players. So Jambo's got to stay alive here for as long as he possibly can. There's one for him. There's 2 for Jambo. Cuts them down single file, and it looks as though Theo might get some good timing here to potentially work his way around the back, but no, never mind. He's not going to be able to do it, and Jambo now on a 5, now on a 6, and only one away from that infamous glide.
Mate, it's absolute madness. We talk about this all the time. Like, if you want to be able to hold this hill, you need to have a player who can drop 2 or 3 kills on the rip. And there you get Jambo absolutely going up. Feed and Vitalize are free 30 seconds as Team Toki have got no response, and they weren't even able to get the scrap time over to P5. So what an important hill right there for Vitalize Black, who's put some real distance between the 2 players, and albeit on the back of the boys. Jambo absolute plays. One thing that has absolutely bothered me, and it's kind of causing me to flap a little bit, we're seeing kind of really wild performances out of our ARs, which you don't expect to see on a Berlin, but really great performances from our MP40 players. Obviously TOJ now rocking 22 kills with 15 deaths. That's an enormous amount of positive interactions, and he's got 53 seconds on the hill, so looks like we're seeing a change in the Berlin method if things keep up like this.
Yeah, I think both teams have just done really well in closing the distance from some of these hills. Obviously, we see so many teams when they get locked out, it's really difficult for those submachine players to transition over, but they've done a really good job as Divil's going to get involved, and the hip fire isn't going to quite be enough to grab that kill, as Fudzy is going to take him down. Only his 7th kill so far, so Fudzy still really needing to come up to steam here with this series, but good work from his teammates are going to enable him to at least keep his team relatively close in terms of points, and he gets another one inside the hill as well. So there's still 20 seconds left on this P2, and the way these 2 teams are going, this is really big time, and Divil manages to grab one. Theo's going to look to try and trade them out, but Felix has absolutely none of it. Helps his teammates stay alive, and look on the minimap, Pablo, Ross J is also ready to go, so this is a perfect scenario here for Vitalize Black.
And this is one of the things you do see against with teams once they get into this kind of war of attrition in a hill. They sometimes forget to make that transition. Well, Ross J never forgotten. A testament to his experience and playing with some really good players. He makes that transition over towards back. He's going to lock it out and wait for his teammates to assist. You can already see Fudzy, prioritising that lane, so he's managed to get the kill. This is big. If he's able to get his team to spawn out, this could be absolutely huge for the boys. And we do see that glide, but Major, the glide came in too late. And it does look like they've got those spawns. So number 7 with a big fight about to go down. Oh my days, Felix just absolutely bodies a Major. And that is huge for Vitalize Black as they regain control of this P3.
Yeah, really good streak investment there. It just stopped Team Toki from really getting a foothold inside the hill, as now Jocker is going to again work his way all the way around the back. He is going to jump in. Divils, though, spotted in the corner, is going to tag him up. He's just going to try and play his life a little bit. He does have help in the form of Theo, but Theo's going to fall, and it looks as though, again, Vitalize Black, they stop that wave of players managing to punch through. So now Team Toki, they are really going to have to hold a really solid amount of time over towards this train tracks hill on P4. Can they manage to do it? Theo's going to get taken down. There's one for Felix. There's 2 for Felix, and he's having a really strong map at the moment in terms of kills. And there's another one for Mr. F. Again, slaying out what he does best. He's doing it once more, and the boys of Team Toki, they've only got Jocker alive in the back. He will fall, and Vitalize Black look as though they've completely flipped the spawns out already.
Yeah, huge plays by Felix. Awesome AR play. He's got himself onto a full streak. Finally gets dropped probably at the right time if the boys from Team Toki do want to make a kind of like coherent challenge. And they're going to have to do it fairly soon, because with so little time remaining for Vitalize Black in such a dominant position, Ross J just pushing out, playing his life really well. He is eventually going to get tagged up, so an opportunity now, maybe the last opportunity, mate, you would suggest for the team in red to make a push, and they're going to do it all the way down from left-hand side. This could be a huge challenge right now.
Oh, Felix again. Another kill comes through for him. He's really starting to speed up now, Felix. Oh, and almost got another one there. Theo, though, with some nice shots, manages to at least get the kill. But look at the time at the moment now. Vitalize Black, they are going to be within seconds of taking this map number 1. Can Jambo manage to sneak himself on the hill? They just need to try and get Ali out of it, and they are going to tag him up, and they take him down, and now this is dangerous. Number 6, Fudzy, has got to go. He's got to go so quickly as well. There's 2 players on the hill. Is he going to take them both off? No, he's not. Vitalize Black, they are going to take map number 1 fairly convincingly, 250 to 150, and a good performance from the man who we flag up as the young phenom, Pablo. Mr. Felix having a really good map, and so too did his team in general.
That was insane plays. 250 to 150, Major. A whole 100-point differential right there. And look at those stats. 28 and 18. 19 for F. Huge plays by Divil as well on 27 and 21. And despite the heroics of Theo J, just not enough to drag his team into any kind of contention in that map. And Fudzy, again, just got to have a reset and regain, because right now, brother, you are on the struggle bus heading into one of the more complex desert sieges. And what a play from Vitalize Black. Out the blocks, the boys from Team Toki, looking quick, looking good, but just wasn't enough in the end, and they just couldn't keep up with the Vitalize Black's power and aggression.
Yeah, so it is going to be The boys of Vitalize that draw first blood. Really strong performance there. It looked as though the boys from Team Toki, they had phases in that one where they looked as though they were quite controlling in that, Pablo, but towards the middle stage and especially towards the end, they just looked incredibly dominant. Like, obviously the kills of Felix helped, but as a unit, they rotated very efficiently. They used the streaks very, very well as well. Obviously, we know now they're not really the easiest to obtain now with it being 7, but they used it on a hill that they considered to be a money hill. They got a lot of time from it, and Team Toki, towards the end, were just always kind of chasing down the game, which is a Vitalized Black fan. That's really the kind of situation you want to be putting them in.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we talk about this commitment to new and old, and they were able to just battle, you know, with one player, take down 2 or 3 players at a time. Jambo, in particular, over towards that P1 on the second rotation, really started to put, you know, 20 or 30 seconds between them. And that was the point where they just started to look really dominant. And when you've got players like Ross J, who over the, you know, previous few months have bounced around between some of the top AM players and learned quite a bit, you can see him just rotating, regardless of the kind of battle that's going down in Old Hill. He will just make that rotation, and it just really settles the team and gives them direction more than anything else. You know, they know that if they're going to die, they're going to get that comms to say, no, make your way to rotation, or you're going to spawn on me, get set up for next. So all these little things play a factor in what is just a coherent strategy. Vitalize Black, you know, looking like a quality, you know, looking like a Vitalize team, you know, which is the big important thing if you're a big fan of Vitalize.
Yeah, and obviously they're reigning champions of Super League, so this is potentially an opportunity for them to at least put themselves in a position where they can maybe go back to back here. So obviously with it only being Season 2, potentially we could see them secure both cups, or I was going to say Challengers Cups then, go on getting a little bit excited for the weekend, but both ACCL Super League Cups, should I say. And yeah, it's an opportunity as well for Felix to kind of show that he can do it consistently. He obviously had a very, very good grand finals last time against Luti's lot, didn't he? So he's doing it again here, which is obviously really refreshing to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just proof of the pudding. You know, we know Vanguard's been difficult for players who have maintained consistency to try and maintain integrity as well. But Felix is definitely one of those players who just is just commitment to the game. But more than anything else, you know, he's clearly got great gun skill. This is the thing that separates him in terms of that basic factor. But his fundamental knowledge of the game seems to be light years ahead of where most players are at his age, and that's a huge difference maker. And that could potentially see him going even further next year.
Yeah, so we are going to dive in towards Desert Siege, Search and Destroy. And if Vitalize Black go 2 up here, Pablo, potentially you're thinking, might be a 3-0 here. I mean, a pretty strong statement from a team that we thought, hang on a minute, are they even going to be playing? Obviously they are. So if they manage to fry this out in a 3-0, go towards that grand final, that momentum is all going to be with them. Obviously you'd expect the boys of Mistaken to still be very, very strong, but we know kind of how Mistaken can be in terms of getting up to speed. They can be a little bit slow sometimes, but if Vitalize Black come out of this one with a hot 3-0, not saying that that's going to be the case 100% already, but we've only had map 1, but it's a potential one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the problem. They faces that, you know, Team Toki right now have got 3 players playing well and 1 player who just seems to be a little bit off the pace. And now we're going into a game that really probably doesn't suit Fuzzy at all. So hopefully he's going to be able to pick things up and turn things around, and that will just bring that series back to 1-1. But we've got to see him Divil Major with the first blood, so already not looking great. And he's going to get himself set up to watch over and potentially get another pick. But right now it is a bit of caution in a 3v4. Theo's got one. He is going to get tagged up though, and it's going to be Joker who drops Ross J from Major. It's a 3v3 as we kind of get to the halfway point of round 1.
Yeah, and quick shout out to the players because they didn't need they didn't want mini-map blockers or X-ray, so that makes our life a hell of a lot easier trying to paint the picture for what you guys are seeing on the screen. But nice kill again from Jocker, manages to take down 1. It looks as though Theo is going to be headed over towards this site. You can see Jambo though is literally ready and waiting for the second he comes around the corner. There's a freebie for him, takes him down. Bomb will go down as well. They do manage to take down Felix, so it is now all on Jambo. Going to need a 1 versus 2 hit up against Jocker and Fudzy. Now, can he position himself to maybe grab one of these picks? It looks as though they are just slowly starting to converge around him. He has been spotted, but Jambo takes down 1. Is the trade going to be there quick enough from Jocker? Yes, it is. Good work from him. And the boys of Team Toki managed to take the first round.
Yeah, it's always a wild one when a trained soldier can't get through a small window in time to save his life. But yeah, that is just one of the quirks of Vanguard right there. Stuck on the old parkour movement. But yeah, big plays. I mean, at the end of the day, 1v2 clutches are really difficult, and particularly on a map with this kind of geography. So good play from Team Toki. They're going to take an early lead, and let's see if they can build on that. Again, Major, one of the players we did highlight at the start of the game is Joker. He's a really exceptional player, and when we cast over him last time, he put up some big numbers. So, you know, look to him potentially to continue this form.
Yeah, so is he going to get the first spot? I'll tell you what, hold that. Jambo didn't even get a chance to get out of his crouched position. Jocko's just absolutely cleaned him off of that. So 4 in a row now for him. As first blood goes in favour of Team Toki. And again, if you guys did miss map number 1, they did lose it 250 to 150, and Theo's going to grab a pick as well here, so it's looking really, really good here. The search and destroy at the moment for the boys in red. Divil, though, will answer back with 1 kill. Jocko, though, again, another kill comes through for him, so now it is all going to be on Felix. Needs a 1 versus 3 here, and he has got a sniper, so maybe he can treat us to something special.
He's going to need to do 3 World Stars in order to bring this game back. I expect he might try and get a pick and then potentially look to just change up to an AR maybe. If there is a player who could potentially do it, it's Felix, but it's a big ask right now with 40 seconds remaining. He's going to get tagged up in quite an exposed position. Team Toki, though, are going to take a 2-0 lead. And Major, I'm not being funny, but I'm starting to smell this kind of waft of 6-1 coming through, because we've seen this before with a team have absolutely dominated hardpoint and then just completely lose their way in S&D. You know, hopefully that's not going to be the case, but it would not surprise me at all.
Yeah, it's been 2 very, very convincing rounds here from Team Toki. Obviously, Jocko being a fundamental part of that with his 5 streak at the moment. Felix is going to just switch off of that sniper, but we'll stay on board here with Jocko to see if he can manage to get yet another first pick potentially here in round number 3. He is going to be heading over towards this no man's land as his teammates look as though the bomb is going to try and get planted relatively quickly here. And it looks as though Vitalize Black, they've given them quite a lot of control over towards this side. Divil is going to spot Ali as he flips out, though, and he's not going to be able to get the pick, but Jambo takes Jocko off of that streak, so an important kill coming through for him. Felix is going to trade out 1. Ross is going to trade out 1 as well, so now all of a sudden, Theo is going to be the last man up. Ross is already on the defuse. The boys are not messing around here. Felix might get taken down here, spots him with the pistol, takes down 1. Can he get the second as well? Oh, I think he got him off the bomb, but he's going to get traded out regardless. Jambo is just going to pick up the pieces, and the boys of Vitalize Black get an important round on the board, and Mr. George Pablo, he wants you to do a C, just saying.
Oh, he's so mean. He knows how bad it sounds. So Vitalize Black managed to get one on the board despite the weird octave shenanigans in my voice. And again, nice plays by Jambo, just staying out to what you would consider an exposed position, but he manages to get the angle and get the kill in the end, and that's going to put 1 on the board for the boys in Vitalize Black. Still advantage towards Team Toki. You would suggest if Ali is able to get himself a little bit more involved on 0-3, this could be a more dominant performance from the team in red, but Major still a long way to go. We're going to see another amazing first blood and a potential 2 pieces of Joker and Ironhide duo up to take down Jambo and Ross J. So it's going to be a 2v4 as we head to 1 minute 10 seconds remaining in this round 4.
Yeah, so Felix and Devil up against the world, it feels like now. 2 versus 4 is going to be required here, and Ali, can he get some good timing onto Devil, or he tags him up a little bit? He's going to need help from his teammate here. Felix is going to try and come and help him out, and good work there from the duo. They managed to at least take down 1 player to make it now 2 versus 3. And still that bomb, though, in a really, really precarious spot here. It's going to be difficult for them to try and retrieve it in this position. Theo is just going to be watching all the way down this long side over towards 8. We're still waiting, though, for the next person to budge. You can see Jocka just watching the whole cross here on this left-hand side. Spots Divil and makes light work of him as he now goes 7-1. And Felix, again, last man up. He's getting tagged up here. He'll do well to stay alive in this position because you can see the Sharks slowly surrounding him. Footsy. Felix absolutely beams him, so he manages to win 1 gunfight. 20 seconds left on the clock, though. He's still got a lot of work to do. He's going to get spotted, and he will get tagged eventually.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to look at that gun skill. He goes straight for the head every time. It's ridiculous how good he is, but eventually gets tagged up, and regardless of how good your gun skill is, you've got that 2v1 advantage. You spread across the map. You can get as much information as possible, and it's going to be an easy round in the end. And that is going to put them 2 rounds clear. And this is the position we didn't expect maybe to see, but right now, Jocka 7-1. And again, Ali, you would expect, he manages to get a kill, and if he continues in that kind of vein, along with Footsy, if they can get a few more picks, this could be a dominant S&D from Team Toki. But Vitalize Black don't write them off just yet, especially with the capabilities of Divil, Jambo, Ross J, and F. Again, though, this is it's a weird map, and we can see just how closely, packed these players are on this quite large map.
Oh, there's one for Divil, and he manages to get out straight away. Ross is going to be above all these players as well, so he might be able to get one onto Footsy, and he will do exactly that. So another kill comes through for Vitalize Black. A much better moment there for those boys. And he's going to get tagged up, though, so now Jocka left up in the 1 versus 4. I'll tell you what, though, the way he's playing, if anyone can do it, though, he can. Oh, never mind, Jambo, who just completely made me eat our words as Vitalize Black get another round on the board. And a big one there, Pablo. If they go 4-1 down, potentially you start to think this one is slipping away from them.
Absolutely, and I thought at one point I did think it was going to be a dominant performance, but again, just unfortunate for Joker. He checks tower and gets pushed at the lower side towards that broken train, so not able to get even one kill in that kind of 1v2 situation. And again, that one round differential, you're quite right, Major. It just plays, in terms of psychology, it gives you that bit of confidence that you're still in the game. You still got, a good potential to be able to take something from this. Vitalize Black doing really, really well. And one thing we know they're great for is that kind of regain. They're not going to lose. The heads aren't going to go down. They're not going to lose any determination. So right now, Team Toki need to maintain the kind of, this top tier kind of quality. They need to maintain concentration if they want to see this out. And right now, again, the players so stacked. The first book going to go the way of Theo J, who is on a 6-3. And Major, very slowly but surely, and kind of an underrated performance, is just about to catch up Joker potentially.
Yeah, so it's definitely much a two-pronged attack here in terms of kills for the boys of Team Toki. But Divil takes down Ali. So now 3 versus 3. They know that the bomb is going down. The nade of Joker. Is it going to be enough, though? It's not. As Devil has managed to just keep his head down. Nice shots, though, from distance to take down Felix. And Theo's going to grab one onto Devil. So now Ross J, can he work some magic here? Joker's on the defuse already. I think he knows Fuzzy can see him on the crosshair. He'll do well to get the man off the bomb. He's not going to even be able to. So Team Toki take another round. Another kill comes through for Joker. Another one for Theo as well. And the boys of Team Toki at the moment, they just seem to be very good at picking players off from distance at the moment, Pabs. They're not really giving Vitalize Black much to work with, especially those SMG players. Every time they try and transition from one point to another, it just feels as though they're watching every single lane.
Absolutely, they've got the trades perfect, and this is something we've talked about before. We do see kind of like a change in fashion over time with the way people play Vanguard, but obviously we at one point there was a lot of non-traded kills. Right now it does look like players are playing a little bit more closely. We're seeing those trades go out, and we're seeing, you're quite right to point out, these huge long distance kills with the ARs. We obviously saw Joker do it earlier on, as he absolutely decimated the Vitalize player. I do believe it may have been Jambo. And it's just huge testament to the capability, the practice that they do put in. And again, these teams are basically going to face each other off, not quite certain of each other's positions. And it does look like this is going to be a push over towards that A-bomb site. But again, they need that first blood. So just waiting for the first push or first mistake, Major.
Yeah, Ross and F. Dot, they are over towards this middle building. But now they're just waiting for the right moment to strike here. Bomb is going to go down, though, and I don't think they've spotted Ali cross over, so good work from him. Bomb will go down if he can get out with his life here. This is going to be a really awkward situation. It looks as though Vitalize Black are surely now going to pounce any second. They're just waiting for everyone to get into position. The nades now from Felix. Is he going to manage to clatter one of them with it? It looks as though Fuzzy, though, watching this left-hand lane, is going to have a couple of gunfights, but good teamwork there from the boys in blue. They do have to be careful, though, from Theo, because he is working a flank all the way round here and might have a couple of freebies. Oh, the shots, though, going to give away his position, and Ross is going to manage to worm his way out of this one, potentially, though. Theo manages to take him down. They are just sticking the defuse, though. They're not messing around. Number 8, Jambo, he is on the bomb, and he's got Felix just watching over the back of him. Is he going to get the defuse in time? I think he managed to get it, and he does. So Vitalize just playing the moments that we say every single time, Pabs. Just get a man on the defuse as soon as possible, and it pays off for them.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a risky one. The trades have been going down quite effectively, but this is a much more difficult bomb site to get that protection. Obviously, over towards trench side, you can hide in trench. You can hide at either end of that huge field area. So it's a crazy play over towards that A-bomb site, and it works out perfectly in terms of the defuse, because they can rely on the fact that they can't be traded out. Great protection again, and to Vitalize Black bring themselves back within one at the minute. They're just not able to string 2 rounds together to make this game even more competitive. So Team Toki still with the advantage despite the heroics of both Joker and Theo J. Right now, across the board for the team in blue, everyone pulling the weight, with the exception of Ross J, who's probably not feeling this Desert Siege S&D at all. But again, we're going to see this very closely contested middle section, Major.
Oh my goodness, you can see the timing there. 2 players just running past each other, but now can the trades come through? Because Theo manages to bag yet another couple of kills. Currently 6 in a row now for Theo. They've still got to try and work the diffuser. They are going to smoke the cross, and it looks as though Ali might be the man to pull the short straw to try and get this diffuse. Ross is going to try and get involved, though, to at least take down one. He just checks the bomb and manages to worm away. There's a gunfight going down the other side, though, as Jambo is going to fall. So now it's all on Ross. They know where he is. Can he stay alive long enough? No, he can't. The boys in red take him down. They grab the diffuse. Theo now has 8 kills in a row. He's been an absolute menace in this middle portion of the map. And Team Toki now, Pablo, with the glide bomb and the strafing run to work with, and they are now only 1 round away from tying this one up.
Yeah, from about round 4, Theo just started to improve and just hasn't stopped, really. You know, he was going under the radar, as we did see Joker drop a 7-1, but then he's just from nowhere just manages to get 2 kills. A nice little collective plays did line up for him a little bit, but 13-3, he's got the strafe, he's got the glide. And the question is, can he do anything with them? He's obviously, they're going to, Vitalize are going to look to bait that glide out as soon as possible. But again, it's whether they can make good use of it and whether he can make good use of the strafe, which has proved to be a very difficult. Ross J getting the first blood, so maybe that will force his hand right now.
Yeah, and bomb, again, flag it up. It has been dropped. And it's a really difficult spot. Felix is going to get spotted. He will manage to dip away though, so no extra kills coming through for either side as they look to try and just maybe work a pick, the boys of Team Toki here. It won't be easy though, because they are not really giving them much to work with. Jambo though, again, Joker, the shots from range, they just seem to be absolutely immaculate every time he takes them, and he manages to clean Jambo out. So now 3 versus 3, and it looks as though they do manage to take Divil off, so it's now going to be 2 versus 3 here. So Team Toki have managed to flip this one right on its head, and Theo now going to look to try and plant this bomb, and Ross is going to fall as well. So now Felix going to be the last man up, does spot Fuzzy, and the shots there, absolutely immaculate to take down 1. He's still got to go through 2 more. As Joker is still waiting. Does he spot him out the back? I think Felix might have spotted him. Oh, but his teammate. Glide bomb's going to come through. Are they going to manage to... Is he going to get inside quick enough? Oh, he manages to just dip inside here. Felix, though, they know where he is, so they can just position themselves in a really difficult place for him to try and work a defuse here. Joker's going to spot him. Joker's going to bag him, and that is going to be that. Team Toki tight up with a really strong search and destroy. Pablo, 6-3.
Yeah, huge props to them. What a massive performance right there. And Joker doing enough. He gets himself a good distance so that the MP40 becomes almost irrelevant, and that gives him the opportunity to get that really easy shot with the AR. Nice, clever play by Joker. And I mean, look at those 2 players right there, 11-3 and 13-3. That is almost, a duo right there against it. It's almost a 2v4 at times, but props to the boys for making the comeback. They look so strong in S&D. And Major, when you see a game like this, and you start to think one team's really good at Respawn, one team's really good at S&D, it starts to smell like a Game 5.
Yeah, I mean, not quite the waft of the round 11, but definitely a Game 5 at the moment is slowly starting to come through here between these two. So really good work there from the boys of Team Toki. They will now tie up the series. And now, Pablo, we've got our beloved triple Tuscan here for control, hardpoint, and search and destroy. So there's going to be plenty more mixy moments in this one still.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Triple Tusk, it's a weird one. We expect to see, a Tuscan S&D or a Tuscan hardpoint, and obviously the faction of late has been Kavutu control. Whether we've got players who feel they've got strong strategies over towards B on Tuscan is another thing, or maybe they feel they're going to get defensive side, or they understand the mode well enough. But either way, it's a lot of fun. It's a great map. It shows you how balanced it is in many respects, with the exception of maybe that slight bias towards the defensive side on control. But as a hardpoint map, it's a lot of fun. It's got opportunities for both AR and MP40, and then you go into an S&D, which is probably the most played S&D. I mean, it was popular straight from the outset. It felt like a great map. You've got, opportunities for snipers as well down that left-hand, long field, and obviously you've got plenty of opportunities for both ARs and MP40. So it's provided us with some great action this week as well. Obviously, we saw the performance from Bearish Corey as he breaks ankles, and that maneuver through ramp door was just insane. But again, it's a cracker. I don't care if there's 3 in a row. It's a really good map, and I'm really looking forward to see how these teams decide to go head-to-head on it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see as well if Vitalize Black can obviously maintain the commanding control that they had in that first hard point here. Obviously, we're going to a game mode now where the pacing is slightly different. Obviously, the map as well to go with it. But if Vitalize Black looks strong here in this control, they're obviously going to be feeling very comfortable going into map 4, which again is going to be another respawn, and it's going to be another hard point here. So Team Toki, though, you don't want to write them off. They've got players on this team that are incredibly talented and fast-paced players as well. So, I mean, you flagged up Fudzy, how incredibly good he can be when he takes over series. So he's not going to be here to just make up the numbers. Or is him and his team? They are here to try and get this one probably done 3-1 themselves. Now they've taken that map.
Yeah, I think it's a weird one, but I don't know why I get the feeling that he's probably the in-game leader in this team. I think he's probably played with more experienced players. He might be pulling the strings, and I think that might be affecting his overall performance. But he is a player that he will come good, and this is probably that moment right now where you'll expect to see him put up some decent numbers. The question is he going to be able to tame the absolute madness that is Vitalize Black's capability as well? They're just such a strong team. They've just got such great gun skill, and right now they're very, the chemistry's there. And they just, I mean, it's ridiculous how well they're playing. So you know, outside that S&D, it's not quite that you would treat it as a respawn, but in terms of their ability to get kills and play their lives, you would still say maybe advantage Vitalize Black. But again, if Fudzy turns up with the rest of his team, this could be something, you know, totally different. And Fudzy is definitely a player who can put up big numbers.
Yeah, and Mr. Morrissey just redeemed a major C. Thank you very much, Mr. C. So, yeah, guys, we are just waiting for one last player to join up, and then we should be good to go for map number 3. But we've had it a few times on Control, Pablo, where we've said time after time how difficult it can be to attack that B site. But we've had a few maps, as of recent, where right out of the blocks, a team has gone straight for the B point, kind of caught the other team off guard, stacked the point, which we flag up so many times. But a lot of teams are now starting to do that now, aren't they? It's definitely a trend that is slowly starting to come through. I think teams are now realizing how important it can be to maybe even just get 1 or 2 ticks if you can, especially do that right off the rip rather than try and push out the lanes. And a quick shout out to Mr. Nooney. Hello, Nooney. How you doing? Handsome. But yeah, it's one where you can really stack and surprise teams off of B, because a lot of teams just expect you almost to go to A almost instantly.
Yeah, absolutely. It requires, there's a couple of factors. Obviously, you need to get a team wipe. You can't really afford to lose a player. So as a 4, you do need to get that team wipe, and you do need to keep all 4 alive. So at least allow 3 to stack the hill, and then someone to potentially push onto the spawn point to get any extra kills from the first wave of players that are going to come back and redefend. But it's definitely a possibility, especially if the team that are defending do a split defense. They have sometimes send 1 to B and 2 in middle, 1 to A. Sometimes you see a stacked A defense. So all these things can play a part. I think it plays especially well if the team do a split defense. If they stack to A, it becomes more difficult, because then they can push as a team over, and it becomes kind of a battle and a bit of a battleground, and that really doesn't play well for the attacking side. But yeah, we have seen it of late when they've taken advantage of this kind of split defense, get the few kills and just stack the hell out of the point. Then 7 seconds or so they can drain that, they can take the whole point, and then they've only got that more simplified A to take. We have seen it. It's not easy to execute though, so we're only seeing it by, you know, some of the very best players in Call of Duty at the minute.
Yeah, I was going to say, it has to be one where it's an efficient push. You can't just throw bodies at it, because at this level of COD especially, people will punish you for it. But guys, if you have missed any of the maps, this is how the series has unfolded so far while we wait for map number 3 to get underway on the Tuscan Control. So we are just going to have Tuscan here. I don't think there's anyone really on the game that absolutely despises Tuscan, to be honest, from all the opinions that I've managed to get from a fair few people. So we are going to just wait and get started in towards our next series. And yeah, pacing is obviously something on Tuscan that is very, very different from Berlin, Pablo. We know that the SMG players will obviously be a lot more relieved now that we're in a map that is a lot more kind of built around that balance of ARs and SMGs. Obviously, the A site's still very, very difficult for submachine gun players to kind of get involved in. Unless you're in U and you're running down long, you're going to really struggle here. So there's still opportunities though, as we saw yesterday.
I'm not going to say anything, because after that Berlin with rocked up like 28 kills with the MP40, I think anything's possible.
Yeah, that's true, actually. That's a good shout. I mean, we like being proven wrong, because usually when we get proven wrong, we get a hell of a series here. So
100%, mate.
I would not be upset if we managed to call this one incorrectly, potentially at moments. But yeah, the boys of Team Toki going to look to try and take their second map here back to back. Can they manage to do it here on the Tuscan Control? And Mr. Theo J with this SMG just going to wait for a few more players to maybe push in towards him as he tries to keep his head down. So the boys of Team Toki going to go for the pretty standard A push first, as Fudzy is just going to be watching over mid. You can see there's quite a big presence here from the boys of Vitalize Black, as Fudzy manages to take Felix down, and there's another kill for Ali as well. So number 6 in Ross is still going to be lurking near the point, but there's just so many bodies over towards that A point, and it looks as though Team Toki, strong start, A point pretty much ready to go, Pablo, right off the rip here, so they couldn't have asked for a better start.
Yeah, they've given themselves the maximum opportunity to take Team B. They're going to have that 2-minute 20. They're going to have a reasonably close life differential. They've got a 3-life lead right now. So big plays over towards A, and that is the kind of the perfect way that you want to play it. If you are going to stack that A side, you want the maximum time. You want either a life advantage, or you at least want it to be as close as possible. So it couldn't have worked out any better for the team in red. Again, though, this is an uphill battle, and it's still major. You know, the basic fundamental of an initial B push is the same as the fundamental for any B push. You need a team wipe, you need to get control, you need to control spawns, and you've got to try and stack it quickly. And that is the difficulty with this particular control zone, and it's not easy to do. So you find, as you can see, players tend to go quite static and just try and wait for the support from the rest of the team.
Yeah, so Ross is going to be up towards Plat. It looks as though Vitalize Black, though, playing quite a passive role in defending this point. As number 5 F. Dot Round the side he goes, round the side of Church. Can he manage to get some good timing onto a couple of players here? Because the kill feed is just a little bit back and forth, but a couple of players you can see already going to be on the point, and Ali going to try and just potentially grab another pick here. Number 8 in Jambo is going to try and get involved in the action, but he's going to get shot in the back by none other than Jocko, who's having a really strong start here to the control. He had a good search, and he's having a good one here at the moment as he's now 4 in a row. 7-1 here from Jocko. Can he manage to grab another one onto Jambo? Doesn't miss a bullet onto him, rips his head clean off. He will get shot in the back by F. and the life count still at the moment favouring the attacking team, but it looks as though it might potentially be the timer that gets them, if anything.
Yeah, 1 minute 10, it's going to be a 6 life differential. They haven't got 13 players to deal with. When you've got players like Ali jumping around like that, and then you've got Divil missing his shots, then this is a massive opportunity. Progress is going to go down. First tick is down. This is a massive moment. Oh my days, Joker with the jump shot. And right now, Vitalize Black being put in the blender, and they cannot get a kill for love nor money. They've got to do this from ramp, but the 2 players are going to push through. Divil looking for a better angle, but he gets traded out. And Major with 1 minute to go. There is only a handful of seconds over towards this speed tick. Finally gets dealt with, but it's again on a 5-3 Major. That is wild. Look how close they came to taking that B and the first round.
Yeah, more importantly, Vitalize Black, they have got to be very, very careful here. They've got to get pretty much a couple of full waves of kills here. As Devil's going to be up top, Church. He will get traded out by Jocko, and you can see now how carefully Vitalize Black are going to try and play lives now, because they don't have any more respawns. 4 plays 14. 40 seconds left on the clock. F. Though, good pick from him. Is just going to slow the push, potentially, of a few of those players trying to work their way in. Ali around the corner, though. Can he manage to take Ross down? He needs help from his teammate, and Felix is going to provide it as he cuts down 2 players. And now, 27 seconds left on the clock. They aren't going to have a full team push here. It looks as though Jocko and Theo, they are going to wait for those 2 remaining players. It looks as though they've realised the importance of this final push, potentially, here. And Felix going to be watching over towards the point. He knows that Jocko's there. Will spot 1, spots Theo as well. So now surely the call out going to come through. They do take down Ross, and Fudzy grabs a kill as well. And it looks as though the patience might pay off for them here. F.'s frantically just trying to reposition to try and help his teammate out, who's up top on the high ground. But Divil, he might not need it. He takes down 1, he takes down 2, he takes down 3. And with 9 seconds remaining, I don't even know if Theo J is going to be able to touch this point. Is he going to check the right corner? I think F. is going to manage to come around the back. Felix with 1. He does exactly what we saw yesterday as he backs up off the door, gets the kill, and Vitalize Black somehow took a round there that looked as though it was going to go in the boys of red.
Did I just see a 13-5 turnaround in a control game? That is unreal plays right there, as both Felix and Divil body absolutely destroy Team Toki there, and what has got to be one of the best late performances in a round 1 over towards Tuscan B that we have seen. Felix on the 11-7 right now. Jambo didn't even need to get involved in that round for them to take it. That is huge plays, mate, and we were looking for a banger, and a banger we have received.
Oh my goodness, and Felix now, this is the part where he's got to play it carefully. He's got to play his life. Ross is going to manage to potentially get some information that there's 1 player top, but there's another kill for Felix, so fully streaked out now for Mr. F. Good work from him as he manages to tuck himself away in the corner. So again, his teammates look as though they are going to try and prioritise the A point. They do have to be careful though, because Fudzy has managed to work his way all the way around the back. You see Felix is going to try and work his way through bottom Church. He's not going to be able to, but Jambo watching the back. Is he going to get the kill? Yes, he is. Good work from Jambo. Good positioning. Him and Ross J just put themselves in a really good position, and there's another kill as well from Ross. It's actually going to be his teammate in Jambo that is going to manage to cut him down, and it looks as though Vitalize, they will have quite a lot of presence over towards this B point as the gunfights at the moment. They are just going in their favour time after time. They are just hesitating though before getting on the point. I'm surprised that neither Divil nor F. has managed to at least push their way in, because this is the difficulty, as there are going to be 2 players, Ali and Theo, up towards the top of radio. And now can Ali make the play? No, the kill feed, it lights up blue. Surely now they're going to look to try and stack this, because they now have 3 players nearby. So now it looks as though the 4 stack is coming through. Oh my goodness, Pablo, they are doing this exactly what we say they needed to do.
This game has been absolutely wild. Jocko with the only opportunity. Can he go big? He gets 2-0. He needs to get a few more, though. They've managed to get the team wipe. Look at that red kill feed there as Team Toki pushed them out. Major, we say it time and time again. Absolutely stacked the hill, and you look at that now. They only need 1 tick. They've got 1 minute 30, and they've got a 1 life advantage. Vitalize Black hugely on the ascendancy now, but they've got to regain, regather, and regroup. And you can see this right now as Ali's going to be in church looking to try and get picks. He's going to try and play his life, and again they just, the boys from Team Toki not looking superbly comfortable in this kind of semi-respawn environment. Divil is going to be at the back. He gets tagged up. Well, Major, this has been an insane Tuscan control so far. Vitalize Black, you would suggest still with the advantage, still 1 minute. They've only got a 2-life differential right now. There is still plenty to play for. And Major, there is a certain Felix, I think, still with streaks.
Yeah, so now when are they going to use it here? Because at the moment, Vitalize Black, they are really struggling to try and get in even close to the hill. They've done the first part of getting those 2 ticks over the line, but number 4, Theo, oh, they're going to check him out the back. Jambo's going to fly around. And, oh, did Fuzzy just spawn right in front of me, or am I tripping? I swear he just teleported and appeared right in front of Theo's bullets. I'll have to go back and watch that one, because I'm pretty sure he just appeared out of absolutely nowhere on my screen. Maybe I'm just absolutely knackered from work, who knows, but good work here from the boys of Team Toki. And now 26 seconds left. Oh, they're going to check the respective corners. No, Ali's not going to get the kill there, so now those blue arrows over towards the B point, they will fly. These next kills are going to be absolutely huge here, and can Footsy be the provider? Shots into Divil, takes down one. There are going to be a few players on the point, but the progression's coming through. But Theo with the strafing run, we talk about how difficult it is to use. He is going to invest it, and the glide bomb is actually going to be used by Felix there. I thought for a second they might get that one done, but they invest streaks themselves. Vitalize Black, but I tell you what, the streak there, usage from Team Toki was absolutely immaculate.
Yeah, huge plays, but what was Felix doing? Bringing the glide bomb out with 9 seconds remaining as the whole team spawns out, and no one has got an opportunity to get one a foot on the hill. And what a strafe and run right there. Theo J needs to clip that and put that into the portfolio, because that is how you do it right there. Strafe and run, one of the more awkward pieces of ordnance to use. It's slow, it requires line of sight. So many problems, but he does it perfectly. And again, Theo J coming up big for Team Toki. Again, you would suggest that if Fuzzy could get himself into the game a little bit more, this could be a much better performance from the team in red. Right now, it is all square in both games, in rounds. And right now, we're going to see Team Toki on the push.
Oh, it looks as though bottom church is where it's all going to go down. There's 1 kill for both respective teams. Joka, though, still pushing out his streaks as he's now managed to get 6 in a row. So now only 1 away from a glide bomb himself. And we know how difficult the strafing run is, but I think it was Theo J, wasn't it, that used it? And he managed to get 3 players with it. That is something we never... Yeah. It's normally 3 teammates, let alone 3 enemies. So really good work there from him over towards the B site as well. So perfect usage there from the boys of Team Toki, but now it looks as though A point going to be the standard push here. Nice shots coming through from Fudzy. And Ross, is he going to fly around the corner at the right time? Manages to grab one. The trades, though, from Divil. They are going to be there as the boys in blue try and maybe pinch over towards this A site. Joka is going to be here, though, at the moment, and he is just a man possessed as he rips off the head of Divil once again. And number 6, Ross has managed to sneak his way through, but he gets taken down, and they've got to be careful because Ali out the back here, if he gets his second kill as well, which it looks as though he will, that is now an opportunity for maybe him to cut off a few of those players, going to help to try and defend that B point.
Yeah, there seems to be this consistent war over towards the spawn point, and I think, I don't know whether Team Toki have decided this is a strategy. Right now, it's not working out well for them. They have got a slight life advantage, but they're going to start all the way back towards Water Fountain and have to make the way back through and give them Vitalize just that little bit of extra time to get set up and get into positions. If not going to get that kill, but he is going to push out and absolutely drop Theo J. And again, heroics coming out of Joka and Theo J, 21-9 Major, and I believe he has got streaks in his belt as well. So huge plays from the young man right there. And this has been a monumental performance so far. Yeah, we can see he's both got glide and strafe and run. So again, when are they going to invest them? As I'm sure right now he'd be more than happy to pass that strafe over to Theo J, who seems to have it nailed down, Major, how to use it.
Yeah, so Ross, just the lone man over towards Platt. There's a few of them. Holy, says hello to the whole gang pretty much apart from one. So it will be Ali and the boys getting some control over towards the B site now, but will they potentially try and invest strafing runs, apologies, as Felix still has his strafing run to work with. Yeah, just confirmation of it just there. But they, never mind, it doesn't even look like they're going to need it at the moment. Theo off the top rope isn't going to get that one, so the boys in blue hold strong. It looks as though it's going to come down to 1, potentially even 2 more pushes here for Team Toki. Time is not of their favour, but if Joka can try and work some magic, potentially here, as they try and look for a first pick. There are going to be a couple of players pushing down this Platt side, but it looks as though the boys of Vitalize Black are ready to go. There's one for Ross. Theo's going to get a pick as well for the boys of Team Toki, so they are going to have a couple of players ready and in position once again as Divil is just cutting down a couple of players. It's now all of a sudden Joka, last man up, and this is the difficulty of control, Pablo. In a second now, they're just going to be throwing bodies one at a time, and this is why it's so hard to just try and conserve those lives.
Yeah, I think their strategy really should be to slow things down. They're not going to potentially get one on the board. I don't think they're going to be able to get B. They probably should just look to try and get picks and try and maintain that kind of life advantage is the big thing. And in the process, Ross J absolutely bodies Theo. and Ali, and that is what you want to see out of your players right there. Rush Day 20 and 17, an underrated performance, something we haven't mentioned before. And again, the kill feed going back and forth. It's going to be a 4v3 with 2.9 seconds. There is going to be Ali back on the kill, but those windy shots are not going to help. Can Theo J bring it down? No, he is going to get tagged up. Vitalize are going to get that round, and Major, that's a huge round there. But again, defense proven to be the easier of the two devils.
Yeah, it was a really big set of kills there at the end. I'll tell you what, if the boys of Team Toki managed to get those 1v1 gunfight wins, then all of a sudden Vitalize Black are really going to struggle because they don't have pretty much any more lives to work with, but they do hold strong just by the skin of their teeth, and Team Toki now going to be back on that defensive side, so you would expect a hold here from the boys in red. Fuzzy still struggling at the moment though, Pablo. He obviously had a really difficult map 1, I believe, if memory serves me well. He's struggling a little bit here, and you do worry for Vitalize Black that if he starts to get up to steam here, this might really start to swing, but on the flip side you've got Jambo who's also struggling.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's traded right off with Jambo's performance of 9 and 17. So potentially about to go double negative if he doesn't get himself a kill very soon. He is going to be on the point though. More importantly, trying to get some time. He's going to get taken out. So we do see kind of a half and half. That's no bad performance coming out of a strafe and run right there. The team kill and a regular kill. So it is going to be advantage, you would suggest, over towards Vitalize Black, and we're just going to see some kills going out. But the team in red trying to make their way around, and again we're going to see potentially Major a very slow stack towards B, but they're going to need the picks, and this is going to be huge.
Yeah, can they get the shots in? Ali is able to grab one alongside his teammates there with a little bit of help, and he's going to fly around. The pistol, no, not going to be enough though to take Jambo down. It looks as though Joka is going to be here for the trade. A couple of windies there for a man who's dropping 30 and 15 at the moment. His teammate is actually going to be the man to help him out, and Fudzy working a really weird route at the moment. I think he's going to try and potentially see if there's any players up towards that P5 side. Oh, and I literally just switched off of one player. The second he ran into 2 players, he was pretty much dead to rights there, Ali, as he does get taken down. But Team Toki still going to keep keeping an eye out the back. Those Viros have managed to filter through, but Joka, there's one. Is he going to spot Divil on the outer lane? No, he's not. Divil able to trade him out, so it's just back and forth at the moment. And the attacking lads on the side of Vitalize Black still even on live, so there's not much separating these guys. But you feel just one wave of kills, potentially Pablo, and Divil is really providing some help here as he grabs even more kills, and there's another one for him.
Jesus, Divil is an absolute monster. These kids have got families to look to. Divil absolutely going off. Joka going to invest the glide, going to drop it straight on Jambo's head, and then we're going to see a pretty tasty kill coming out of Ironhide Ali. And again, we're going to see that drain coming back, and again, it just shows Major how difficult this beat is to capture. Even when you've got a player dropping 3 players over towards that defensive side, they're just able to regroup. The spawn's obviously quite close, and right now a big fight going down. Fud is one of those players, but mate, he's had a little bit of a resurgence right now, and you can look at the score from Jambo. He's had 2 kills in maybe the last 45 seconds. Well, Fudzy has come to life, and this is exactly what we wanted to see if you're a Team Toki fan, as a resurgent Fudzy. But right now, over towards the back, it is Ali and Joka just teaming up to drop Vitalize. Major with a 2-life differential and only 40 seconds remaining. It is going to be advantage Team Toki in this round.
Yeah, and a quick shout out to Angus, Sophie, and Quirky as well with the follows. Thank you very much, guys. So it is going to be Vitalize Black now, going to have to try and leg it over towards the point. Ross J on towards the point he goes. There's going to be shots though straight in towards his back as he gets taken down. And now, can Theo hold this lane? Yes, he can. Good work there from Theo. Joka is going to be over towards that radio side, but he falls as well. So now, can the boys of Vitalize Black manage to make this work? 15 seconds left. Well, Jambo's not going to be there to help as he gets his head absolutely ripped off of that one by Ali. And Ali at the moment, really good work. 5 in a row now for him. Manages to take down yet another kill, this time onto Ross. And with 5 seconds left, I don't think they're going to touch this one. Vitalize Black, and this is where you get your fingers out, Pablo. Get counting, because we're going to have to see who is going to be on that defensive side.
Yeah, I haven't been paying too much attention to those kind of scores. You get lost in the round sometimes, and when you've got players like Divil and Ali absolutely bodying people in 2s and 3s, then it is something. It is going to be the boys from Team Toki with the advantage, and that's going to be a big opportunity really for Fuzzy to really kind of like I don't know, make amends for the last 2 games that he's played, because he has been a little on the quiet side. He's just come to life, still heavily negative right now, so expect big things out of him. But Joka Major on 32 and 18. This has been a Joka world, and we're just living in it right now.
And Harvey, thank you very much for the follow, buddy. So the triple stack on towards the A point. Unless Joka works something really mad. I'll tell you what, that wasn't too bad. He manages to at least take one player down. He's going to fly out onto Ross as well. And Joka really starting to push the limits now of Vitalize Black, because he's now pushing 40 eliminations at the moment as his teammates just try and slay out over towards this next site, over towards B now with Jambo. Good important gunfight win comes through. And it looks as though Ali's going to try and hit this flank really, really quickly here. There's going to be a few players and a couple of shots there. Is he going to manage to get a kill? Oh no, Devil's going to fly straight over the top of him. So now Fuzzy's got to go huge. And now this is the opportunity, Pablo. The triple stack has come through. Vitalize. Look how close they are to that A point as well. I don't even know if they're going to be able to contest. Theo flies on. He can't do it. And that is exactly all. Nope, never mind. I thought for a second the contest might be enough. But that B point is now done. They only need less than half a tick to get this one done. F-Dot's already here though, Pablo. He might be able to get this done himself.
Oh, the strafe is out. The strafe is out. He gets the turn and the kill. And there's only seconds left. He's read that so well. But he gets dropped. Theo J, is he going to get tagged? Ross J is going to make his way. The two J's in the battlefield right now, and there's only a handful of seconds left, and they blew it. Point A is secured. Vitalize Black with an absolutely monumental attacking round. And Major, that is the perfect time to do it, to slap back, to break the save. Do it in round 5 when you really need it.
Oh my goodness, that is why if you can catch teams out of that B site, it pays dividends so well. Joka 35 and 15 for an L. He's going to be fuming with that one. Jambo, meanwhile, he's kicking his feet up. He's saying, cheers, lads. Thank you for that one. And Vitalize Black now through a potential thin margin that you didn't expect them to take it, Pablo. They come through and they manage to take map 3.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got to look. I mean, that Jambo performance is the kind of performance I'd have. That is insane plays for a player to go so negative and his team to still do so well. Must have got some really important kills in that game. But Vitalize just, stack that B-point, guys. If you are watching this control, it is an effective strategy. Get your kills, stack the point. I know it's not the easiest of routes, but right there you can see how effective it is. And Vitalize Black really come up from a position where you thought they can't really do this. Team Toki have got the defense well. They go and prove us wrong, make us eat our words for one more time, and they've got the advantage 2-1, and we're going to head into a hard point. And this is particularly more worrying for Team Toki right now, because this is their respawn masters. We saw how effective they were in Berlin. I can only imagine that they're going to be just as effective in Tuscany.
Yeah, so hard point. Can the boys of Vitalize Black manage to take every single respawn here in this series that they need to? They are now only one map away from going through to that grand final. But Team Toki, Pablo, how many times do we call it? You do not call players out and say potentially they're going to drop maps, because we have done it time after time, and we've been made to blush, really, and made to eat our words, because Team Toki, we know how good this team can be on paper. You look at the roster and you think, well, they're just as valid to getting towards the grand final as well. But it just feels as though Vitalize Black on the respawn, when they've clicked into gear, they've looked very, very efficient in terms of kills. Obviously, we saw them get a wave of kills, stack the point, that opened the doorway. Whereas Team Toki didn't quite have that moment where you feel, right, okay, now they're looking as though they're different beasts. Joker's been brilliant for them, to be fair. But as a 4, it feels as though it's not quite been there in respawns just yet.
Yeah, it's almost like they take turns and doing really well, but that means that the other 3 players are either not getting time or they're getting tagged up. So at times we see Ali play really well. He'll drop a 3-piece and he'll drain, or he'll get like a control point, or he'll do okay in the hard points. And we've seen Theo J so effective at times. He did great with the strafe and run. In the first hard points, he dropped huge numbers, and then we saw how effective he was in the S&D. But then again, the rest of his team kind of let him down again. Fudzy probably got to look to that player. And this is the thing. Vitalize, though, you go and look back over their stats, with the exception of Jambo in the control, they've been really effective as a 4-man, getting 20 plus kills in each game, getting good solid time, and that's what's made them effective. In this hard point though, watch Ross J. He's the one player I would suggest. Watch his movement, just watch where he goes when he transitions, and that he constantly is thinking about the transition.
Yeah, so guys, we are now going to load in towards Tuscan hard point, and potentially Team Toki's last map of the tournament, unless they can manage to take this one and push it towards that game 5. I mean, let's be honest, Pablo, if we get a game 5, the org owners will be hating us for it, but let's be honest, as neutrals, we'll be loving it nonetheless.
More COD. I mean, what can you ask for? I want to see these orgs biting their nails. Absolute desperation. But no, I mean, it's been a fantastic season so far, and it's ended. It already looks like it's ending really strong. But right now, Team Toki with a lot of work to do, and they're going to have to step up, because right now, Vitalize Black, very aggressive team. Good to see Fade's already run out, and he's going to be throwing the MP40 on, so maybe we'll see a resurgent Fade. He manages to get an early kill, but he's going to get bodied fairly early by Ross J. We see the fight go down, and despite the fact that Vitalize started on that less prepared side, they've managed to get themselves over and are going to get a little early lead. And Dibble shooting like that is going to be, you know, absolutely superb for them. So far, so good. If you are a big fan of F. In particular, who's on 4 and 1 major and already on a 3 streak.
Yeah, and he's already just going to try and go over towards this left-hand side of the map to cut out a couple of players. Open the door. There's one. Is he going to spin onto the second? Oh, I thought for a second there he was going to do a madness, but Ali is going to manage to work his way around the back of P2. Divil, though, I'm pretty sure he spotted him on the steps. Is Ali going to get the kill? No, those blue arrows there, just too many of them. And they have got a decent amount of time from P1. They now have the rotation over towards P2, but almost like the control, Pablo, this is where we talk about P2. As much as teams can have the control of it, it can be very, very difficult with players coming from here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've done a good job to be able to retain this kind of control so far, but right now we've got a semi-pinch coming on. Number 2 is going to be there. Footsy is going to be getting a kill. Nice to see him positive right now. It is early doors, but that kill feed going entirely the way of Team Toki, with Joker again starting to look very, very tidy. And this is going to be an important time for them. But again, Major, well, one of the features of that Berlin was the first rotation did remain relatively close. And it's only when we hit that second rotation P1 that we started to see a difference. Right now, you would suggest good fight in the spirit of Team Toki right now. And it's going to be a slender lead as we head into P3.
Yeah, and again, Felix is just going to be a lone man over towards long. Oh, there's some timing. Literally changes direction. Never mind, though. Number 2, Footsy didn't actually come around the corner. He now knows roughly where he is. And the good comms there means that Felix is going to be able to take one down. But now he doesn't know there's going to be a few players waiting for him out the back. Joker going to be one of them. The double chow comes through from Theo and him. And it looks as though Team Toki, they have rotated efficiently over towards this next hill. It looks as though a few arrows, though. Ross, especially alongside Divil, they are going to try and converge on the man out the back. So Joker's got to go absolutely huge here, though. But the way he's been shooting, if anyone can do it, it could potentially be him. But now 2 players going to challenge him out. The kill feed lights up blue. But now can Ali go huge? Ali with 1. Ali with 2 really huge kills. And now just located in the back. If he can try and stay alive, he could be a real pain. He's finally going to get taken down. But have the reinforcements come through quick enough? It looks as though they have a really good work there from Ali and his boys.
Yeah, superbly frantic P3 there, but great work and great coordination between both Ali and Theo J. 2 players that have played really well in the respawns. They just haven't been able to get the time. Right now, though, Major, one criticism we gave Team Toki was that they weren't transitioning effectively. Well, I'll go and eat my words, because Ross J has been relatively static, and the boys from Team Toki have been committing really strongly to the next hill. Huge plays, and Ali is just going to rock around right now, get himself a 3 streak. I think Jock has just been knocked off his 5. And right now, Team Toki, you know, they were about to measure up for a 7 streak between the 3 players. Well, that does change. But right now, advantage Team Toki, and this looks like a different team to the one we just cast over in Berlin.
Yeah, and Felix just going to be watching bottom church here. We know this hill can be messy, but can Vitalize Black potentially look to one of the less money hills to hold a huge chunk of time and maybe form a bit of a lead here? Felix, good work again. Another kill comes through for him as his teammates get kills around him. And number 3, Ironhide Ali, not going to be able to work inside towards the hill, and the kill feed just blew time after time. Theo, nice shot to take down 2. So good work from him, and an opportunity now for him and his boys to try and get in towards the hill. But Divil, watching the front of house, takes down 1. There's going to be another player ready and waiting. Footsy takes down 1, and it's going to be a huge one-on-one here potentially between Divil and him for potentially what could be some important scrap time. But Divil, good work, wins the kill, and now the race over towards the next hill. Who's going to win it? Ali there, big kill from him.
Yeah, huge plays right there. We saw some crisp shots coming out of both teams. Players getting crucified, top church, and all over the show right now. This has been a really, really good return on investment in terms of kill to time from Vitalize Black. 114 to 79 from a position where Team Toki were looking really, really strong. This is a good opportunity, though. They've got tile side, they've got control. Looks like they've got control of bottom. And number 3 there is going to be Ali, looking to try and get into those stair area and provide them with a bit more time. That's a big kill, though. Was Divil able to get it? No, and it is going to be Ali. He drops Ross J, and he drops Jambo as well. This could be huge. Divil is going to be there for the contest, though, Major, and his next few kills will be vital.
Oh, and Ali has just absolutely shredded a fair few of them, as he's now 6 in a row, 1 away from that infamous glide bomb. Can he manage to get the 7th kill here? We will stay on board with him and have a look to see if he can manage to get it working. But meanwhile, his team, they're just doing it all for him. Every single kill that it looks as though he's going to go near, his teammates just take them off of him. So it was a combined, I believe, 10 streak at one point between the boys of Team Toki. And Theo Just going to lay prone, waits for the help, and Ali not going to be able to turn around at the right time. He gets taken down. Ross with some really important kills for the boys in blue as they look to try and push this lead out, and Ross again with another set of kills as he takes down 3. Felix takes down the last man in Footsy. Those respawns now are going to have to start coming through for the boys in red, but it was a red kill feed, and now it's a blue kill feed, Pablo. It's just back and forth between these lads at the moment, and a streak's going to be invested.
Yeah, and again, we're seeing that kind of weird differential between P1 when players start to get control, but great plays across the board. But Team Toki at times just look unstoppable despite this slender difference in lead. We're seeing Ali go off, we're seeing TOJ go off. What an interesting stun earlier towards P1, which kind of made me laugh. But again, Vitalize Black with a very, very slender lead, only about 20 seconds in it. Right now, Ali looking to absolutely go off. If he gets that kill, I literally fall out of my seat. Right now, though, the kill feed you would suggest is still very blue, Major, and it's being obviously reflected in that 30-second kill differential. About to hit 40. Right now, you've got huge plays going across. F-Dot on a 17 and 14 in a foot race between Ali and Theo themselves, so that kill leader. Again, advantage, Vitalize Black, and again, if you're Team Toki, you need a big regain as we hit this P2.
Ross is just being an absolute pain out the back here. The pistol's not going to be enough, though, for him on that occasion. Jambo is going to be watching the back, but you can see Divil just working a pinch, and he manages to grab a few kills himself. So now, Ali, can he go huge once again? There's one for him. He knows that Divil's around here as well. The pre-fire isn't going to be enough, but he's done well to stay alive here for as long as he could possibly. One kill comes through, but again, Vitalize. They are just so efficient on trading players out, and Ross is just going to be soaking up all the time while all this madness is going down. Ali, though, flies around the corner and absolutely cleans out Jambo. Divil's going to fall as well, and there's some big gunfights going down now for the boys of Team Toki. They are able to at least grab a few of them, but they still don't have the man on the hill as Ironhide Ali is going to drop Footsy on towards it once again, and they do have Theo J out towards that next important rotation, and you do feel, Pablo, obviously it's still too early to call, but this next hill for Team Toki is going to be huge.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's really interesting. The boys from Vitalize taking this Tuscan completely different to Berlin. You know, we usually see them kind of rotate, particularly with Ross J around in about 20 seconds. Well, they decided not to. They waited. They tried to take some sort of time on old, got tagged up. They went back to old, and now they're only just about to push through. And again, relying on potentially the gun skill from some of the players there, in particular, obviously Ross J. We've got Jambo as well doing particularly well. Divil, actually, Jambo's doing terrible, 17 25.
Big kills.
And huge kills from Felix out the back. You know, again, one of these players, very disciplined, Major, able to hold these kind of back areas. He does this all the time. He's one of the players to first to rotate as well when they do rotate. So huge kills right now. Plays his wife really, really well. Gets to that 20 and 20. And Major, there's only 20 seconds in it again.
Oh my goodness. 10 seconds of scrap time is going to go in favour of Vitalize. For Team Toki, they've got the rotation. They really need a good hold here over towards Church. And these next 3 hills could be make or break here for Team Toki. We'll see now if they can actually push it towards that next hill, because at the moment they do have the control, but Felix around the back just going to try and be a pain. There's a few players around him. Ali's going to take him down eventually, and can the kill feed go ominously blue once again? And nice work there from Ross. Manages to pick off one. Can he get the second onto Ali? No, he can't quite do it, but his teammate Felix, in he goes. Can he snap onto Joka, who's just still lurking up top? And Joka with 2 important kills there for Team Toki. They will not give up this hill without a fight at the moment, and they are holding a huge amount of time as of yet. Still 30 seconds remaining on it, though. It looks as though Vitalize Black, they're going to go down this long side, try and get those picks. Where's the next one? Ross with one. Is he going to check the corner? No, he's not. Players are just throwing themselves here, there, and everywhere from every single angle at the moment. Jambo's going to be the last man nearby. He won't be able to get the kill either, and this has been a perfect hill over towards this bottom Church side here, Pablo, from Team Toki.
Yeah, and again, it's that amazing duo of Joka and Theo J presently forming up to form a 6 streak. They have been unbelievable all game, 25 and 20 and 26 and 20, and captured 2 minutes and 35 or more, 43 seconds. That is a big break, though. They push through the wrong side. They're going to push through and try and get tile side control. In fact, Ross J is going to look to watch over towards that bottom bracket. But again, number 5, is he going to make that read, though? F-Dot, is he going to read those players pushing through? Number 1, Joka is about to push through. He gets tagged up and he manages to get a kill, Major.
Yeah, Joka did get stopped short of more streaks, though. They've still got the strafing run of Jock up, but no glide bomb is going to come through. And Theo just watching this angle. Are they going to check this corner? I don't think they are. There's one for him. Oh, and the nade of his teammate is actually going to be the thing that takes him down, and that might potentially be a huge moment in this one as Vitalize Black. They've still got bodies here, and there's another couple of kills coming through from Divil, and now they're ready on the next rotation. Ross is going to be here. He's got his teammate in Felix. Can Felix go huge, though? There's still another man lurking. The kill feed lights up blue. Vitalize Black with only 25 seconds remaining needed to take this one. They've got the rotation. They've got the scrap time, but now they just need to hold it.
Absolute plays right there from Felix over towards P1, but can he plays like some windy shots go down, but it's going to be enough to suppress, but there's going to be a player in the back. Number 6 is going to be pushing through. Ross J with the big brain plays. Divil drops Ali. This is going to be absolutely massive. Only 13 seconds needed, and can the team in red, can Team Toki even push through right now? This is looking like an absolutely solid hold, and we're seeing shots going out from Ross J. Pepper in the plays. Number 7 is pushed through. We've got Divil dropping plays, and it is going to be potentially Vitalize Black take the Tuscan hard point, take the game, and they're going to be going into the grand final major to face off against Mistaken Esports.
Vitalize Black. That couple of kills that came through from Divil and the rotational kills that came through there from Felix and the lads, they were absolutely huge. And that rotation from P5 to P1, we've called it time and time again. It can be a game breaker in some of these series at the finest of margins. It was an incredible map from both teams, but Vitalize Black, when it matters, Pablo, they managed to pull it out of the bag again.
Yeah, man. It's insane. You just look at the stats right there on Ross J. You know, it's a player we pointed out at the beginning, particularly good at hard points. He didn't actually rotate as effectively as he did on Berlin, but he didn't need to. He's got Felix there. They broke into hill time after time. Again, it was pretty close right the way through into the midpoint to the second rotation. And then at that point, we did start to see that lead just start to eke out a little bit. It was 20, 30 seconds. They managed to maintain that lead, but it was still pretty close. And again, Major, you pointed out how important that teammate may have been over towards P5 right at the end. You know, if that player doesn't die, they've got a player on a kill that can potentially take out Dibble, and then, you know, that is huge right there. But this is going to be a hell of a grand final, and Major, we are seeing Felix there again.
Yeah, man. Felix loves a grand final. Oh, my goodness. So, guys, there's the confirmation there. Vitalize Black, they are going to progress through into the grand final where they will play Mistaken Esports. So that will be coming up just very shortly. The guys just obviously need to sort out their various vetoes and all that good stuff. But GG's there to the boys of Team Toki. They came incredibly close in moments in some of those ones, but it will be Mistaken Esports up against Vitalize Black just after this short break, guys. So don't go anywhere. Grab your food, grab your drink, and we will be back with grand final time to see who takes home that £800 for first place.
it's all on us. Two falls to the lives we make, and break through the darkness till we cannot recognize who we've become. Things they may change, but we remain resilient. It's darkest right before the dawn. Though we bend, we will not be broken. Stood on the beach in that hot summer sun. Looked to the sky, said enough was enough. 'Cause where you are is where you belong. Though we bend, we will not be broken. Please don't say it to my face. I know you wanna let go. I like pushing our boundaries, but you should already know that often we turn but we're tired. Can't sleep in the bed that we made, so we set the mattress on fire. 'Cause we'll do whatever it takes. That I'm gonna see something stupid and you'll probably take it to heart. Kissing goodbye like it's ruined, 'cause this time I took it too far. Come on, darling, have a little faith. Come on, darling, have a little faith. There's no need for us to walk away. We'll find another way if we just have faith. If we just have faith. Slurring words with no meaning. We've had a little too much. As conversations get heated, we're growing cold to the touch. We toss and we turn but we're tired. Can't sleep in the bed that we made, so we set the mattress on fire. 'Cause we'll do whatever it takes. That I'm gonna see something stupid and you'll probably take it to heart. Kissing goodbye like it's ruined, 'cause this time I took it too far. Come on, darling, have a little faith. Come on, darling, have a little faith. There's no need for us to walk away. We'll find another way if we just have faith. If we just have faith. If we just have faith, If we just have faith.
You say you want it forever. We're falling down. We need it now. You say you need it, you better up. And we're falling down for us. We are lucky that we found each other now. 'Cause I know that we could have a long run down this. I know we could have this all night long. And I'm falling down, yeah, I'm falling for your love. Want you to feel my love. I want you to feel my love more than anything before. I want you to feel my love. Want you to feel my love. Want you to feel my even when you hold me close, you feel so far away. Far away, far away. Used to miss me, now I'm wishing things could be the same. Be the same, be the same. I just wanna hold you. I wish I never told you. I feel us drifting. Don't question what we got. Can we take another shot? I hate this distance. I want you to feel my love. Feel my love more than anything before. I want you to feel my love. Want you to feel my love. I want you to feel my love more than anything before. I want you to feel my love. Want you to feel my love. Want you to feel my love more than anything. Want you to feel my love. Want you to feel my love. Want you to feel my love. I want you to feel my love. Want you to feel my love.
She loves everyone before she meets them. Her words spoken free, no judgment beneath them. She dons a sundress in the dead of winter, but that's alright. She thinks pancakes are meant just for dinner, but that's alright. She takes her shoes off and runs to the water, and I don't ask why. She thinks rules are for interpretation, and I can't deny. Yeah, she sees the world so differently. She doesn't think before she speaks. I wish we all could have a try to see the world through her eyes.
What's good, Squadron? Welcome back. Welcome back. We are finally here with a grand final time. Cheers to it. Vitalize Black are back once again in the grand final. Pabs, I mean, they're up against a difficult outfit, though, this evening. They've got to take 2 best of 5 off of the boys of Mistaken Esports. But regardless of how this one pans out, I mean, Season 2 of ACCL has been absolutely rammo this year.
This has definitely been some of the best Call of Duty we've casted over since we started our adventures separately so many moons ago. But this is shaping up to be, I mean, this is a true ACCL battle in the sense that we've got the battle of the young phenoms, and this is probably the most exciting game I think that we've got to cast over at this level for a while in terms of just this raw talent that's going to be on display. It is going to be young Felix against Mr. Higgly Piggly himself, and I am absolutely cannot wait to see the outcome of this game. Vitalize doing so well to make it through this far, and then obviously they just steamrolled Team Toki again. Obviously they had some like pickups and stuff, but they just, you know, you got to beat what's in front of you, and they did it with some style, and they look absolutely awesome on respawns. But they've got to beat one of the most awkward teams, Major. I think that is around Mistaken Esports, a very angular odd side to play against. They are almost certainly likely to throw map 1 in spectacular fashion, only to regain with the kind of strength that you don't really see in it out of many other teams.
Yeah, and for anyone who doesn't know, I mean, we're going to need a quick, deep inhale of air because our maps for the grand final, they are going to be very mixy. Double Bocage is going to set us out the gates here for this first potential best of 5. We then got Gavutu Control, and then we end on 2 Tuscan. So we've got 2 incredibly fast-paced maps, Pablo. We've then got them sandwiched either side of a Gavutu Control, kind of slap bang in the middle. But you flag up the boys are Mistaken. I mean, we have to really mention Corey after yesterday's performance. He was absolutely incredible. He's obviously going to be a man that they will look to again on respawns to put up some big numbers. So it's a case really of take your pick out of these lot, because as soon as one of them gets going, they are a very, very good outfit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Corey, time after time, has just dominated maps. He's got easily the best kill I think I've seen all season with that little move out of ramp, doorway, pull back, and just absolutely sent that player on his skates. So just a really exciting player to watch. He can dominate a map when he takes over, but this time round he has got almost the same kind of players that he's coming up against, players who can go huge. In fact, players that can go huge on the sly. You almost just do it under the radar, and you see them suddenly start getting 2 and 3 pieces. So, you know, they have got a huge challenge ahead, but again, this is just about the team that can maintain that pace right the way throughout the series. This is one problem that plagues quite a lot of teams. If Vitalize Black are able to get the reset, they've got to maintain that kind of pace, and we know that they've done it previously. They obviously, you know, we've seen these players win previous ACCL Super League tournaments and stuff, so yeah, they've just got to maintain that pace, and Vitalize Black coming from that losers bracket, probably more warmed up, but again, they've just got to play this really difficult side in Mistaken Esports.
Yeah, and Pablo, you've got a C request in the chat. Do you want me to lead you in for it? It's grand final, so, you know, one final one for the boys.
What's the worst suit in the whole world? Sue!
Forever asking where this infamous lady Sue is. Like, Sue, where are you? But yeah, guys, we are ready and waiting pretty much for the guys just to press the big red button, and then we can get cracking in towards a Bocage hardpoint. We couldn't ask for a more mixy, fast-paced map between 8 players here. Pablo obviously fully deserving to be here in the final. Mistaken obviously coming through that winners bracket. They have, as we flagged up, they have been a bit slow to start some of these series, so I think this map 1, whether they drop it or not, I think it's more of a case of if they do very well in map number 1, I will start to worry for Vitalize. I'm not going to lie. If Vitalize take map 1, it'll be kind of a case of, right, okay, can Mistaken do what we're so used to seeing them do and come back to it? But if Mistaken come out of the blocks here and they are absolutely steaming with this one, it might be a very difficult afternoon for the boys of Vitalize Black.
Yeah, you would suggest maybe the first 2 maps are the real opportunity for the boys from Vitalize to take advantage. 2 reasonably small Bocages. Not a great deal of geography, tends to stay fast-paced, really relying a lot on that kind of like quick reaction time, not great for ARs. So hopefully, you know, we're going to see a Vitalize, you know, a strong opportunity to take an early 2-0 lead, because we know how strong Mistaken are. Straight out the blocks is that ebullient, effervescent crookie who just can't be put down. It's going to be an immediate response, Major, though. We're going to see the boys in there to contest. We know P1's wild. If we get the prone, what a kill from Ross J.
Yeah, so grand final time is now upon us here between the boys of Vitalize Black and Mistaken Esports. And remember, guys, this is first place manages to bag £800. Second place will go home with 160, so not exactly a bad sign by any means. But the boys of Mistaken Esports, they're going to look to try and grab as much time off of this P1 as possible, because Vitalize Black, they've actually held by quite a lot of standards, quite a decent amount of time here at the moment in P1. But Crookie, can he potentially be a man? He's going to get taken down on that occasion, but he has been a bit of an X factor for this team. And obviously Snake, I've seen him multiple times, Pablo. We've seen him in Challenges Elite, actually. He's been very, very consistent on Bocage with an assault rifle, which isn't necessarily the easiest thing to do.
And he makes it look really easy. This is what's quite disturbing about Luke's capabilities. He just, he can use it in any map, particularly on these small geographies as well. And we've seen him hold good time over towards P2. Obviously, as I say that, it is going to be the team in blue, Vitalize Black, who managed to get him down, but they're still not able to get a foot on the hill. It is going to be Crookie with that stout defense right now, 3 and 4, and just able to steal a reasonable amount of time, potentially about to tie things up. And again, we just see this contest over towards P2, and it is going to be Mistaken Esports finally get to grips with it. We're not going to see a rotation. It's still a little early, 27 seconds, and obviously this is a very small map, so it is going to be kind of one at a time from Vitalize Black at the minute, which is not what we used to see. And we used to see more coherent, more kind of organised pushes from this team in blue. Right now they do look like they're all at sea a little bit, and that's just giving Mistaken Esports Major the opportunity to take the lead.
Yeah, so Divil is going to be inside the hill as Corey wins a big gunfight out the back, though Felix, so quick trades, makes no mistakes about it, and he is going to try and lurk around down towards mid. And nice shots there to take down Crookie as well. Higgy, though, a man we've flagged up time after time, who has come up through the ranks here alongside Felix, and he's doing a really good job on this roster again. And Ross almost able to grab a 3-piece there, but Corey has absolutely none of it on that occasion. The trades come through for both of the respective sides, but it is still Vitalize Black on the hill, and Felix at the moment looking really strong, currently 8 and 6, looking for more kills as the boys of Mistaken Esports, they are going to get on towards the hill once again. Crookie is just going to be soaking up that all-important time. We know how difficult some of these hills can be on Bocage, but that deficit now from Vitalize Black between them and Mistaken Esports is only currently stood at 10 seconds. You can see gunfights at the moment, as expected, absolutely everywhere. And Mr. Bearish Corey, a man who we have flagged up time after time of being a bit of an X-factor on this team, looking very strong already, currently at 10 and 7.
Absolutely, he's just dominating, and no one's really picking him up. He is finally going to fall, but he did manage to get to that 10 and 7 point, to the kill leader in the game. But everyone's doing reasonably well. This is great to see. We're not seeing anyone particularly slacking off, and we wanted to see this. This is a great competition so far. 20 seconds between both teams, and Major, it's been back and forth. Kill time being hard to come by right now. You would suggest Vitalize Black's strongest period of time uncontested on a hill right now is over towards this barn hill, as they managed to bring this back to within about 18 seconds. But again, they just got to deal with this red onslaught, the red menace pushing through top barn, and they've just been able to be, with the kind of pace and play that Bearish, Corey and Higgy have been able to put upon them, they've just been able to side through. And again, we see this contest come in, and right now Vitalize Black doing everything they can and more, but they just can't seem to hold the hill for love nor money.
Yeah, so they will still have Divil on the hill. He's got a huge amount of time as well, pushing pretty much almost 90% of the time that his team has currently got at the moment, with 49 seconds of contest. Is going to come through from both Snake and Bearish Corey, and the duo there just fly around on him. But the duo, likewise, of Vitalize Black, F-Dot and Ross, they managed to just fly straight back round and get the trades as well. Higgy is going to get some information of some of those players, but out the back, Corey's got a lot of work on his hands here. There's going to be a few players, manages to stun both of them, but he's not able to drop any of them. Number 1 in Crookie, though, going for a quick flank himself. He can't manage to make it work, and Snake just playing it slow out the back. But number 6 in Ross, he might be able to make the play. He's only able to pick off one, and they still have the man in Felix over towards the hill. He has managed to just jump on it for the time being, and number 8 Jambo is just going to try and be an absolute pain by crossing these players off.
Yeah, we've just seen Corey's just got himself as close as possible. He does get tagged up. It is going to be Higgy with the opportunity to take that player down over towards that boat. He gets tagged up in the end. Crookie with big kills. He gets the 2 pieces. He drops Jambo and Ross J, and that's going to be a good opportunity for Mistaken Esports to slap back. And it was almost tied up at one point with the T84 all. But then it is going to be Mistaken Esports just going to take the remainder of that scrap time. There is going to be one more kind of half-hearted push, but you can see those players already thinking about P2 as we hit the second rotation, and looking just to contest over towards that P1 right now. Mistaken Esports with a slender lead, you would suggest, for a Bocage hard point, and we're seeing that kill feed major time and time again.
Felix.
Just get lit up until Felix decides, no, enough is enough. I don't want to see any more red. Make some blue appear right now, and he manages to do that. And right now, Felix 15 and 13, not quite the kill leader in the game, but again, it is a very even across the board, mate.
Yeah, and a quick shout out to Sneaks and Wardy for the Prime subs. Thank you very much, guys. Much love. Thank you so much for your support. So, Vitalize Black still trailing by 20, but Felix is now starting to show up a little bit here as he's now 5 in a row, looking for the 6th onto Snake, and Felix, hello. Oh, Felix, hello! The man wants to defend his title, and he's showing it here at the moment as he cuts through players at the moment. And oh my God,
goodness.
Mistaken Esports, they are really struggling to track him down at the moment. 8 in a row now from the man who's not even turned 18, and he's finally going to get taken down by Snake. They will steady the ship for the time being, but that is exactly what Felix can do, and if he keeps that up, Pablo, Mistaken Esports, they are going to have a difficult evening on their hands.
He may not be 18, but he can drink the blood of his enemies at 21 and 14 with 28 seconds on the hill, and he's got both streaks in his pocket. And right now, he has been the X factor that we normally look to Higgy or maybe Corey to be. Well, we knew Felix was good, but that is impeccable, incredible play there, and he's keeping his team almost afloat single-handedly with the respective Divil with 1 minute and 16 on the hill. Now, you would think if Vitalize were able to get more players into the hill for more time, they would probably have a much more substantial lead. Right now, they are just about to tie things up with 30 seconds remaining on the hill. They're doing a great job, mate, of just keeping that team at bay. Look where they're spawning out, and they're going to get a good chunk of time here. And this is one thing we did see from the Vitalize side when they played Berlin hardpoint. Despite the fact that they went behind, they were able to just start to warm up and get much better as the game went on. Corey looking to put paid to that, but it's going to be F-Dot and Jambo in particular managing to drop him over towards back tank and Major. Right now, they're approaching a 30-second lead.
Yeah, that was a really big hold there over towards that P2. We know how difficult it can be at times, but Mistaken, they do have a lot of bodies out the back, but one of which on the side of Vitalize Black is going to be Devil, but he's going to fall on that occasion, so they will start to just edge that lead and slowly start to take time off of it. So where are the boys of Vitalize Black going to try and push this? It looks as though it might come full heavy from the middle here as Divil takes down yet another player. He's going to just get on the contest spot and toy with the opposition here as he tries to go around the back and make a flank here. There's going to be 2 players. He's got so many players to choose from, but he's actually only going to be able to tag up a couple of them. Jambo as well is going to get in towards the hill, but Corey tries to make the trades, but he's not going to be able to. The Automaton up close enables him now to put himself 6 in a row. Can Higgy potentially be the 7th here? Higgy, really good work, going to fly into the hill, but Jambo now fully streaked out, and Vitalize Black now in a really good position. Still a lot of time to play for potentially in the grander scheme of things on this hill, but Jambo with streaks could be an X factor.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, under the radar performance right now is Higgy is approaching 30 kills. He's on 29 and 21. He's got himself a small chunk of change, but again, not that kind of player to be hanging around the hill. He is going to be getting kills in and about the transitions, and he's done so well so far. About to potentially hit that 30. He does get the kill, but gets dropped in the end, as it is going to be gets F-Dot indeed as kind of nemesis on the other side right there. F-Dot decides to go on a small streak, finally gets tagged up, and these players are both hitting absolute form just at the right time, mate. You would suggest again, Vitalize Black, regardless of their heroics, just not able to get that lead any further than 30 seconds. I'm Mistaken back on the contest. Is Crookie going to read this? Yet another big kill, and across the board, players doing everything they can to keep their team in it right now. Mistaken Esports are going to be on this difficult barn hill and potentially going to tag players up, looking to try and get a solid 20-second hold right now. Would be great for them and bring them back into the game, but it is going to come down to this final rotation, and right now it is Vitalize Black already with those spawns.
Yeah, and Higgy at the moment, really good jobs from him as a man who is normally an auto player you would consider Higgy on, but I'll tell you what, he can run absolutely anything, this boy, and he is going to look to try and get some more kills, one of which potentially onto Divil, so there's another one for Higgy. 34 and 24 now as his team look to try and converge on those players in the back. I'm not quite sure they realise how many players are actually still out here. Number 1 in Crookie is just going to come into the whole band, but Higgy with 1, Higgy with 2, and doing exactly what Felix did before as he starts to cut through players. They are now spawning out towards the back. Higgy just hanging by L. Can he be a pain here? Ross is going to go straight into the blender as well, as they are going to invest a glide bomb. I assume they want Higgy finally gone, so they are going to have to take Iron Man down with a glide bomb straight to the face, but the boys are Mistaken. They are still fighting for every single second. It's still around a 15-point lead at the moment, but it's still going to be close. Nothing really separating these guys at the moment, but Vitalize Black just soaking up scrap time here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you cannot deal with Higgy. Get the plane, boys. We're going to need to drop one right on his head. Finally deals with him. He's 2 off a 40 bomb in a grand final. The kill lead in the game. Huge plays by Crookie, though. Crookie, again, no slouch, 33 and 28. And when you've got 2 players, Major, playing with that kind of capability, you've got to suggest that Mistaken Esports, again, a team that definitely can regain, reset, and recoup points. They're going to be able to bring this back, and it's within 6 at a point where Vitalize Black looks superbly strong. Mistaken Esports have just started to put these boys to the blender, and Major Higgy's absolute heroics starting to pay dividends.
Yeah, he's just playing this kind of free roaming role at the moment, Higgy. He's not got a huge amount of hill time, but he is getting those all-important gunfights and pushing players out of hills. But it will be Vitalize Black now that are going to flip those spawns out. So the next engagements are going to be big here, and good work there from Felix at the moment as he looks to try and soak up even more time on this P1. We know how difficult it can be, but Vitalize Black doing a really good job at the moment. Felix just allowing his team to do the work around him. Ross, he's just going to be lurking over towards bottom ground. As you can see the presence that those players are having now down towards this trench side. Nice shots there from Divil. Divil with 1, Divil with 2. 5 in a row for him and Pablo. Look at that combined streak. 11 now between Vitalize Black. They are on an absolute tear now.
Right, this is swings and roundabouts. Just as you think one team are in the ascendancy, the other team decides to stack streaks. Divil going huge towards Trench, but again, it is going to be Vitalize Black with the spawns over towards that P2, and we're in the 3rd rotation now, and we're only just about seeing some air between these 2 players. This is the biggest lead that Vitalize have been able to get, and number 2, Snake, has got to do big work over towards the back. This is a big opportunity, and they've managed to drop 3 players right there. There's Ross, Jambo, Divil, and F. all fall. This could be absolutely huge. 35 seconds puts absolute pressure right the way back on Vitalize Black if they're able to get it. This is another massive moment for the team in red, and the question still remains, are they going to get side through like butter? Because right now the boys in blue are not missing a shot.
They can still win off this hill. Mistaken have to commit someone at least, and number 3 Corey is just going to get on towards the hill. He's going to spin around, but he's not going to get the kill, so they can still win off this, and Higgy's going to get cut down. I'm not even sure if they're going to be able to do this. Crookie, he's going to have to try and touch the hill. I don't think he's going to be able to. And Vitalize Black, the team coming from the losers bracket with a huge statement there in a map that we know can be so mixy. 250 to 193. They are going to take that.
Absolute plays, regardless of the heroics of both Higgy and I believe at times Crookie went absolutely huge. You can see already decided to leave, but Higgy and Crookie 43 and 32. Despite those heroics, despite those enormous numbers, it just goes to show that when you've got a team firing on all cylinders and not necessarily relying on a handful of plays, that they're going to be able to take that map on. Now, we did think coming into this that they were potentially going to take this Bocage, and we know that Mistaken Esports is a team that do start quite slowly. Bocage probably not the best kind of map for them, and you know, we can't write these guys off. They're in the final for a reason, but one thing we do know is they start to get better as the series wears on. But we're going to head back into another Bocage, and this is a great opportunity not only for Vitalize Black to go 2-0 up in the series, but potentially be 1 round away then from resetting the brackets, and they're not going to need to deal with, you know, if they can take that Kavutu control, they won't need to deal with those final 2 maps where they could potentially be banana skin maps for them. They'll reset the bracket and then get that opportunity to choose new maps again. This could be huge right now for the boys in blue.
Yeah, so Vitalize Black 1-0 up. One thing I will say though, Pab's Mistaken, we know they're a good search and destroy team, obviously with the big brains on that roster. And Vitalize Black in that previous series, the map that they did lose was a search and destroy, albeit it wasn't a Bocage, but regardless, they're obviously their search and destroy with kind of a mismatch of players kind of thrown together almost like last minute. It's an opportunity now for Mistaken Esports to really kind of do what we're so used to seeing them. They kind of slow start on a map 1, and then they really start to kick into gear. And obviously the search and destroy, we've seen them time after time. Even if it's been around 11 and a close margin, they just seem to be a team that you really can't count off. Even if they're trailing in a search, they just seem to get some of those important maps over the line.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the thing. We've seen enough round 11s. We've seen really close hard points in the past. And again, one thing that we don't see is we tend to see a really solid performance in control. So, you know, a big worry from Vitalize Black's perspective is if they do lose this round, if somehow Mistaken Esports are able to just, you know, do the unthinkable and take this map 2, which I still think they can lose and still, you know, potentially take the series. But when they hit the gap control, that is definitely the remit of Mistaken Esports. That's exactly where they like to be. Deck chairs, beach towels, spades, and buckets all ahoy for Snake's team. They absolutely love control on Gavutu. So, I mean, even if this team in Vitalize Black able to take the 2-0 lead, they're going to be looking at that potentially being a 2-1 going into Gab, and then you head into maps that really are the remit of the Mistaken Esports boys. So a lot of potential, a lot of possibilities, a lot of stories still to come. But right now, it's a fascinating matchup between, you know, I've got a couple of older heads in the scene and a couple of really good young phenomenal players.
Yeah, and obviously one of those players that you still can't count out is Mr. Bearish Corey. By his standards, that was a very, very quiet map for Corey. Like, we've seen him in hard points where he's absolutely shredded teams single-handedly, and Mistaken Esports, they had Higgy, who was doing very well in that one, but it just felt as though because Corey was kind of struggling a little bit and they were kind of having moments where it just felt as though the kill feed wasn't really going in their favour as frequently as you would have liked, especially in a bocage when, you know, you just get wave after wave after wave of players. So you do think if Higgy and Corey can both manage to put up huge numbers, I mean, you still can't count out Crookie and Snake as well. Again, they've just got a roster where any of them at any moment can go really, really big on some of these maps. You just feel that Vitalize Black, although they'll be feeling very, very good at the moment, you do have to be wary because, as I say, when Corey comes to party, he is very, very difficult to stop.
Yeah, and SND, I mean, that's the other thing is that people seem to think he's a good respawn player, but in the previous games that we cast over him, he's dropped absolutely huge numbers.
Look at yesterday.
This is a perfect opportunity for him. It's a relatively small map. He's a very quick player. He's a very aggressive player. He tends not to miss his shots, and he's got good reaction time, so he is capable of putting up absolutely enormous numbers. And I believe, you know, as well as getting streaks on a map like this is probably not within the realms of possibility. So do keep your eyes open for Bearish Corey, especially for First Bloods with that aggression, but he's up against, you know, a four-man from Vitalize Black that are very, very accomplished. It is going to be Snake with the nade, dropping it straight onto Divil's Bonds across towards Trench, and that's going to be a 3v4 as we hit the minute mark there, Major.
Yeah, so first blood goes in favour of Mistaken. And where is this next kill going to lie? Vitalize Black, don't grab this next one. You do worry for them in this opening round. It looks as though Crookie, though, is going to try and get this bomb down towards B, and number 8 in Jambo. You guys can't see it on the minimap, but he was over towards B, and he's just rotated all the way over to A, so there is nobody currently over towards that site here, and Snake might be able to catch out a couple of players here, and there's one straight out the top as he grabs Felix. He's going to grab as well. Higgy's going to grab Jambo, so now all of a sudden, Ross is last man up. He will fall, and that is exactly what Mistaken can do on Search. What a good round from them.
Man, that looks well practiced. A really nice setup. You've got Snake waiting outside Taxi right there to tag that player up. And he's able to get the second kill on Ross J as well. So that's a solid team wipe right there. A great performance from him. And Major, that looked very coherent and looked very deliberate as well.
Yeah. So, Vitalize Black now going to be on the offensive side. Let's see what these boys have got in the locker for us here for their first attacking round. So, nobody currently on their team yet to get a kill in that opening one, and Snake has managed to push himself out to 3-0 in the early stages of this one. Obviously, he's still got plenty more to go, though, before he is going to obtain any streaks. And I'll tell you what, though, Felix, wow, there's a play. Flies straight through. Higgy will instantly trade him out, though, but he will at least open the lane for his teammates to get the bomb down, and Jambo's going to grab a pick as well. So now Corey and Snake, can the duo manage to work something here? They will need to check quite a few corners here, because number 6 right underneath them, Ross J, is just going to be ready and waiting. Snake, oh, he's not going to get the pick, so now it's all on Corey. But a man that can produce so many moments here. Can he produce another one here? Corey takes down Ross. So there's the first. 28 seconds left on the clock. He is just going to look to try and rotate out. But he is running out of time now. And he's got to go through Divil and Jambo. Oh, does he spot one over towards Tank? I think he does. And he is absolutely flying at the moment. Is he going to try and just lob himself at the player? He's going to try it. It's going to fail. And Vitalize Black tie it back up.
I mean, Major, we talk about it time and time again, how difficult it is, and it's particularly in Vanguard. Obviously, we used to see clutches quite frequently over towards Cold War, but Vanguard with the time to kill, with the way that people gather information as well, just proven very, very difficult to get these clutches. And when you've got a player as aggressive as that, he's not going to be checking as many corners. He's going to get tagged up, and that brings it back to a nice 1-all. Vitalize Black probably in a preferred position, and again, we've got a couple of players that you would think if they're able to get off the mark, we could start to see them potentially dominating the map. But there's a long way to go. And at this 1-all stage, I mean, I don't want to call it early, but Major, are you getting any kind of smell that we might be hitting a game 11?
I'm getting a smell that Corey might rip through a few here, because he's managed to somehow get all the way into Granny's without a single sniff of Vitalize Black realising that he's there. And if he drops down right on towards the bonds of another player who he is going to subsequently stun, Snake's going to pick one off as well. So he knows there's one player in here. Corey going to take down one. He can't spin, though, onto the last man, but his teammates trade it out, and Mistaken Esports take that round fairly comfortably. And yeah, it's early days, Pablo, but we know what Bocage is like. It's back and forth at the moment between these two, and just the effervescent sniff of a potential round 11 here in the early stages. I won't say that much just yet, though.
He did just a very small bubble passing by the nose. I'll be honest, again, Buckeyes, it's very difficult when you've got the player map locked and when you've got X-ray off, but, you know, it does lend itself to a frenetic handful of seconds where you see players drop and get traded back and forth, and you end up in these 1v1, 1v2 situations quite frequently. And again, it's just mistaken esports go on to the ascendancy. Snake looking really good. A player we kind of attribute with S&D. Crookie gets absolutely bodied by Devil there. The reaction time, mate, I would love to see that from his perspective. Devil manages to get the kill on Cookie. It's going to be Jambo with a two-piece as he drops Snake and Bearish Corey and Major with the 30-second mark approaching Higgy in a 1v4.
Yeah, I mean, well, definitely 2 of those kills should have gone the way of Mistaken, but the boys of Vitalize Black, they span onto 2 players in that round, and Vitalize tie it back straight away, 2 rounds apiece. Yeah, it was one where it looked as though Corey was going to get a kill, and I think it was Divil that literally just snapped onto him and 180'd and got the kill. Oh no, it might have been Crookie, apologies, and then obviously another one down towards that P2 side. They weren't able to win, and on Bocage, where the margins are just so fine, you can't afford to kind of do that kind of stuff, and Mistaken Esports, they're made to pay for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's just so quick at times. When you've got a player, we talked about it earlier on, like Bearish Corey, you know, obviously like Jambo just did in that previous round. It's crazy plays to think about. But when you've got players like Higgy, like Bearish Corey, who can drop 2 plays in quick succession on such a small map, it's easy to start get dominance. Corey. We talk about Corey as he absolutely goes off bodies too. We've got to look at the pace of this player, and the routes he takes as well are just so clever. He tends to avoid any kind of interaction until it's too late or he's behind you. He's going to be joined now in a fight with F. who realizes the players are over towards A.
So 1 versus 2 here work to do for Felix. Is he going to spot at least one of these? They are both just stacking inside the point here. Higgy and Corey literally playing right next to each other, so they do not want to give Felix absolutely anything to work with. I'll tell you what, when he opens that door, he's going to be in for a rude awakening here. Because there's going to be a few players fly straight around the corner and doesn't even need the help of his teammate there. He grabs the kill. Mistaken Esports take that round, go out into the lead now. So again, fine margins. Pablo, Mistaken Esports take that one, and the boys of Corey and Higgy just working the site well there, playing close and back-to-back.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about it the other day, literally, that we're starting to see this fashion now for people, you know, staying a lot closer together, looking to get trades. Previously, we would see the split push to try and gain information, but that's great plays from Mistaken Esports, and they deservedly take a 1-round lead. Vitalize Black still by no means out of this game as we head into round 6. Again, Bearish Corey on a 3 streak, still, I would suggest, still too far away to start thinking about that strafe and run, but we're going to see a double from Crookies. He drops Ross J and Divil and puts his team into a 4v2, and Major potentially looking to bring this back to 3-all.
Well, Felix again, he's now in an even more difficult position. And those red arrows are absolutely everywhere. So good luck with this one, Felix, because you're going to have to absolutely beam so many players. He's not even going to be able to get past the first one. And Mistaken now a few rounds on the board. I believe that's their 3rd round in a row, if memory serves me well. So 4-2 cushion now going to be on the side of the boys in red. Felix going to be the last man up again. It just feels like the boys of Vitalize at the moment, Pablo. First Bloods, they're just really struggling for them at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk about this on bigger maps. It can be hugely important to get the first bloods, get some bomb site control. Obviously, on this one, it's about getting, for a lot of teams, it's about getting not the first one, but also getting the second one as well. So you've got that 4v2 advantage. You've got, obviously, a much better opportunity to get bomb site control, get bomb down, and control the time. It's not the easiest thing to do, but when you've got players like Corey going off, who manages to get 3 pieces and 2 pieces quite regularly, you've got Snake. One thing we would say from the previous game he cast him, his first 2 games, he was pretty quiet. Well, that's definitely not the case now. He's 6-3 and playing very, very well. Corey playing on usually this very long kind of route towards trench, so just trying to get tags and some information with his ordnance, albeit the limited amount that he has got. And it's going to be Snake just trying to watch over. He's going to get tagged up by the player pushing out towards top grannies, so not quite dropped, but tagged up and looking to regen. Major. Yeah,
Jambo is still holding over towards B. I'm not quite sure what the boys of Mistaken have got in stock here, because there is a player, literally, F. opens the window and shuts it literally straight away after. But they're still toying with the possibility of taking this bomb over towards B. Number 1 in Crookie is just grabbing the bomb But they're still throwing bodies over towards this bottom granny side, and Crookie's got a really good bit of timing here. He might be able to go around the back and at least pick off one here. There's a few players. Well, there's one for him. Hello. There's one drop. So now can he manage to potentially get this bomb down quickly enough? He will now plant it. Divil and Ross going to be the last two up. It looks as though it's going to be a little bit of ring around the roses here as Divil's going to get shot in the back. Ross is now going to be the last man up. 1 versus 3 required now for Ross. They know exactly where he is. Those red arrows, they are just converging on him. They take yet another round, and Mistaken showing exactly what they have got here on Search and Destroy. Pablo 5-2 up now. They are looking very menacing on this game mode.
Absolutely, and you can see the pace that they were playing at. They got really nice bomb site control, and they were able to just deal with the only 2 players that were remaining. And again, it was just very dominant and very disciplined from them. And going into the final, potentially final round with a 3-round lead, this has got to be a big moment. Vitalize Black, you know, it's not impossible. Over the last few weeks, we have seen 4-game rebounds, but it's been very rare. And Vitalize Black, you would suggest, maybe not got that kind of gas in the tank against the team of the caliber of Mistaken Esports. Right now, every player doing really well across the board for Mistaken. Right now, Bearish Coddy is getting tagged up, but you can see how much of a nuisance he is. He's able to play. It's like Jambo finally gets the first blood. Probably a little bit complacent from Bearish Coddy, probably feeling that 3-round lead right there.
Oh, Crookie, he's just double naded straight in towards the site and got both Divil and F-Dot, so they did really well to have a 4 versus 2 situation, and then the nade of Crookie was just absolutely pinpoint perfect. So now it's going to be Jambo and Ross, the last 2 up, and Felix still really struggling at the moment in the search. 1 and 7 from him. Very unlike him. And now is Snake going to have a nade land right on towards his bonnet? He does forget sight of where that nade comes from. But now, is Jambo going to make the read here? Up towards the top. Is he going to snap onto it quick enough? Yes, he is. Jambo takes down one, but the trade is almost instant from Higgy. So now Higgy versus Ross J. Ross has got to win this one for the boys. Otherwise, it will be 1 map apiece after this moment. Potentially Higgy, though. Can he time it to perfection? Yes, he can. Higgy takes the kill. The boys take the round, and Mistaken tie it back up, Pablo. 1 map apiece now.
I mean, I don't like to say I told you so, but I did think this was going to be potentially a 6-1, a 6-2, maybe a little generous with the boys in blue. Given, I think they gifted round almost Mistaken Esports, but huge performance, and what a response. And that is the kind of slap back that you need when you're in the grand final, just to say, you know, we are here to participate. Don't even think that round 1 meant anything, and that we are going to be coming back strong. And more than anything else, Major, they're going to be heading into home turf, you would almost call it. This is definitely a place that Mistaken Esports really enjoy, is this Gavutu control. So right now, you would suggest even Vitalize Black going to need a regain, because they are about to feel some fury going into this beachhead right now.
Yeah, and it's just this map, when you look at it and you see Higgy and Snake on the same roster, you just think, man, with the auto ability that those players have, it just feels like a Mistaken kind of playing ground almost, Gavutu, whether it's a hard point or a control. So it is going to be map number 3, which we'll be starting very shortly, guys. And obviously, Pablo, we are guaranteed that map 4 at least in Tuscan, so we're going to be stuck now with 2 respawns between now and the Search and Destroy in that Tuscan game 5. So it's one potentially where Vitalize Black, they're going to look and say, right, okay, we've dropped the Search like we did in that losers final, now we need to try and pick it back up again with another respawn.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a big moment for them. They've got the players to do it. Let's not kind of like underestimate the capabilities of the team in blue. Yeah. You know, they have got some fantastic players. They've got some good flex players as well. So this is not a team that are going to go shy for ARs on this map. It's just, you know, when you talk about Mistaken Esports, you talk about the players they've got. They're just so comfortable on this map in particular. And again, you've just got to... This is definitely their map pick, and you've got to question the kind of... You know, you would definitely want to see this out, maybe do a Tuscan, but then again, they're really good at Tuscan control as well. I think control as a game mode just seems to suit Snake's play. But even if they go 2-1 up, they then got to face a very dominant and very capable hardpoint team in Vitalize Black. So again, this is why we talk about that slight whiff of a game 5, because we can realistically, you know, based on history, see that, you know, Mistaken Esports can take the Gavutu, and then even if we head into hardpoint, we know how good Vitalize are on the respawn. So we could well see that Tuscan, and then, you know, I don't even want to call that if it gets that far. Let's get there first.
Yeah, I think one thing as well that Vitalize Black will be looking to is obviously Felix to come back again and start playing well on this map, because he did really struggle in that Search and Destroy, and it definitely feels as though when he's, whatever team he's on, he's normally a go-to man to put up big numbers. So it's one where if he can really get going in this control, I think we'll get a much closer map and a closer affair than we did in that Search and Destroy. I think he finished 1 and 7 or 1 and 8 in the end. I can't quite remember. I think it was 1 and 7 in the end. But yeah, he's going to be a key factor to this roster. I mean, you know what the rest of Vitalize Black can bring to the table. They've been very consistent as a roster roster, really. There's not really been many maps that we've cast over these lot, obviously in the previous series, where one of them was struggling. They all seem to be kind of pulling their weight, and on the map where subsequently Felix was struggling a little bit, that was the one where they kind of got blown out the water a little bit. So again, I think they'll be looking towards him especially to be putting up some big numbers.
I think S&D is a weird one, particularly on Bocage. We tend to see, Felix at the back of the map. He'll be holding down a lane, or he'll be closing down and trying to use his auto to great effect. And then we do know he can be kind of like that very aggressive kind of hype player. But in those kind of, over the last few weeks, he's been a lot more disciplined. We've seen him holding down these lanes.
Yeah.
And in S&D, you did see him at the back of the map quite a lot, particularly at the back barn and places like that, and he's not really been reading the flanks very well. And that's one thing you've got to say is, as a team, Mistaken Esports S&D is very, very good. They're able to go on flanks, they're able to get good overall map control, and if he's at the back and not able to get traded out effectively, he's just gonna get nailed every time. He's kind of like the quarterback getting sacked all the time because he's got no real defense. So again, not that surprising that he hasn't done that well on S&D. We do expect him to do better, but again, with that more passive role. But going into a game mode like this is perfect for him to put some big numbers back up. And even if he doesn't, to kind of expect him to lose this one, they're going to go into a Tuscan hardpoint. I think it is a Tuscan hardpoint, isn't it?
Yeah, Tuscan. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, he's going to go into a Tuscan hardpoint where he's definitely got the opportunity to dominate again.
Yeah. So guys, we are now loading in towards Kavutu control, the battle of the automaton players, and the poor sod that has to pull out the MP40 probably will be ruining the day that the lads got this one in instead of the Tuscan. But we are now loading in towards the Kavutu control, and one where Mistaken Esports, Pablo, last night when they dropped map 1, they took 2, 3 and 4 and looked fairly comfortable in 2, 3 and 4, to be fair as well. So it's now an opportunity for them to kind of show why when they drop map 1, you just don't really think much of it. As soon as they get momentum going, they're so difficult to play against, and they really, it's a really odd one, because I assume they do scrim before this, but map 1, just I can't remember the last time I cast a Mistaken Esports with these rosters where they've managed to take map 1 straight out the blocks.
Honestly, I just think that you see this in some teams. They can play a million free-for-alls. They can, they could scrim against the team. But when it comes to that game pace, they're just not quite there. And you do see it time and time again. It's just one of those things. It's like the first 15 minutes of a footy game where despite the quality of the team, sometimes they can get off to a slow start. And that's usually a good opportunity to take them apart. And we've seen Vitalize Black do exactly that. And that's not a surprise. But obviously, once Mistaken Esports do get on the boil and do get, in terms of kills and in terms of accuracy, go off, that is exactly what you expect to see from someone like Corey. He's not able to get that second player, so good, absolute quality time going down towards B, as they've absolutely stacked it, and it's secured, Major, with a 27-24 life advantage. So Vitalize Black, mate, we're gonna have to get the bowls and the spoons out, because words will be eaten.
Yeah, that was literally the perfect start. Again, another position where players stack that less preferred side. They get the, was it 2 waves of kills or 1 wave of kills almost, it felt as though, and then they managed to get the B points. So now Vitalize Black, they are in a really good position now to take this attacking round, and arguably what could be the most one-sided attacking round we've ever seen. And we called Felix out for showing something a little bit more here, and he's managed to now get 4 in a row. His teammates are really starting to get the momentum, and Felix 5 in a row now for him. The pistol does the work well. Vitalize Black, this is why we need to just stop predicting things, because they come out of the gates and they absolutely slap Mistaken on the offensive round.
I will take that miscalculation all day. Look at that final kill. 360 Snake with a handgun. Insane plays from young Felix. Vitalize Black, man, out the blocks like thunder. And mate, they took B and took A. Is that the quickest attacking round I think we've ever seen on Kavutu?
That's definitely for me. I can't remember an attacking round like I've seen like that on Kavutu. There's normally
0-4.
When we saw the boys of Mistaken Esports the other day take that round, there's normally somebody that goes P1 and kind of pinches around the back and takes him up. And we saw Corey, he got a couple of kills, but they just managed to absolutely fly through there and obviously stack that point, both of them subsequently really quickly, and the progression just came through almost instantly. So really good work there from the boys on Vitalize Black. They take that first attacking round, and it looks as though the boys of Mistaken Esports now, they are going to look to try and do exactly what they did. It is going to be a bit more of a tepid push over towards B. Higgy now has got on towards the point, and they've gone for a kind of this slightly more spread approach, Pablo, where they've got kind of Bearish Corey over towards A, Higgy over towards B, and now Vitalize are kind of stuck in a position where they're saying, right, okay, now you need to pick which one you want to try and prioritize.
Absolutely, yeah. This is a kind of a classic split push, and it just obviously stretches the opposition. But again, you need to get consistent kills all the time. So that player at the back there, number 5, Crookie is going to need to go absolutely huge. He's going to need to get the next wave of kills if they want to take that B. There is only 2 ticks down. They've only got 1 player on that hill, so this is the problem. It becomes very, very difficult. The FMJ not really doing the job there, as he's not going to be able to get those picks, and eventually it is going to be Jambo who drops Higgy out, but they get 2 ticks to B, so it isn't exactly the worst position to be in. Mistaken Esports with the slender 1 life advantage, and that is it's a huge attempt. It was slightly more tepid, Major. It's an excellent point, well made. But they do get 2 ticks, so again, it's a quality. You would suggest a good push from Mistaken Esports. I mean, if you don't have that first round, you would be congratulating them for that 2 ticks.
Yeah, so number 1 in F dot still lurking. 10-2 at the moment is Felix, as he's just getting a couple of shots absolutely everywhere. A couple of warning shots there going in towards top boat. Isn't going to grab the pick there on towards Crookie, but he is going to spot Corey on the transition, and again Felix with some really crisp shots from range there. We can only dream of that kind of accuracy, but good work from him and the boys of Vitalize Black. There's only 25 seconds left on the clock here, but good work there from Luke. Manages to get 2 really important kills. Higgy's going to combine for 3. It looks as now, though, Vitalize Black, they might try and chalk off this point maybe, because they do have quite a lot of bodies over here at the moment of Mistaken Esports, as F Dot is going to still try and look to transition. The pistol, though, is out again as he manages to grab yet another pick. There's going to be still a fair few more players, and even a man of his ability isn't going to be able to do that one, so they do buy themselves that additional minute, Pablo, and they only need 1 tick over towards B.
This is a big moment right now. Vitalize Black really do need to get a solid defense in, because if they get picked off right now, they don't need the huge stack on Mistaken Esports side to get that last tick over. It's going to be, 2-3 seconds if they get a 2 stack on it. So big moment right now. We know it's possible to defend effectively, but when you've got Crookie absolutely beaming Rosh J like that, this is suggesting that the boys from Mistaken could potentially tie this up, and we might see one of those rare beasts where we see an attack-minded kind of Gavutu control. It's wired to consider, but right now they've still got to break through this solid defense. They have got kind of a double positive advantage right now, but 40 seconds, Major, is not a lot of time to do it.
Yeah, good work here from Mistaken. Snake's going to get a couple of kills on towards the point. He will go, and now the progression slowly coming through. It's going to be down to Ross J to at least try and contest here. He's going to slide in towards the cover, and he wins a really big gunfight there if he can stay alive here. And what the contest, and Ross with 2 really huge kills there for Vitalize. He manages to stay alive, and those red arrows now, they can't transition over towards the point without potentially getting gunned down on the cross. Can they manage to do it here? Vitalize Black still holding strong. Only 3 lives, though. They're going to have to do so well with Jambo and Felix get kills. So now Corey's going to try and at least touch the point, and he will take down 1. With 60 seconds left on the clock, and I think, you know what? They might have actually done this. 13 seconds. They need to at least try and touch the hill. It looks as though Ross is going to try and look over towards P1. 8 seconds remaining. Ross can go huge here. If he turns around, there's so many players behind him. Oh, he's going to get some really bad timing, though. He's going to get taken down. And now, can Felix make the play? There's still so many bodies on the hill, though. Felix, can he take down at least one of them? There are just red arrows absolutely everywhere. He's going to get taken down, and Mistaken breathe a sigh of relief.
Armored True Carrier coming to the rescue of Mistaken Esports there as Felix, last man alive, tries to get the big kills, not able to do it. It's going to be Snake who puts the bullets over towards Beach, and that's a huge round for Mistaken Esports. And again, without the kind of madness of that first round, that was a really good solid push from Mistaken over towards B. They get the 2 ticks, and that causes really the big damage in that game and brings us back to this kind of parity. Right now, though, Felix is absolutely gone off. 15-8, 1 away from being double positive, and just showing us the kind of phenomenal player that he can be. And you feel, Major, that if the rest of Vitalize Black could at least start to put up some bigger numbers, this could be a huge round for them.
Yeah, nice work there from the boys of Mistaken, but again, it's going to be a heavy stack over towards B. Can they manage to do exactly what they did last time and take this incredibly quickly? Oh, Jambo's just giving up the cross there, so Crookie's actually managed to get some good timing to transition over towards the player on the hill, but never mind, Crookie's going to take down Ross with the nade. There is still F Dot, though, nearby, and nice work there from Snake. Manages to get a really big kill onto the man, onto B, and now the aggression over towards the A site now, but Corey going to try and slip through the ranks. Ross, though, good reads, takes him down. Felix is still going strong at the moment, 18-9 at the moment from him, really leading the line in terms of kills alongside a roster where you'd expect potentially a little bit more from them at the moment, but they are going to look to try and prioritise this A point once again. Snake, though, just watching in towards the middle of boat. Higgy's going to try and fly in for some trades. There's one for him. Higgy, can he get the second as well onto Divil? Yes, he can. He will get shot in the back, but the boys in blue, they're still on the hill and they're still getting progression.
Yeah, it's really good progression. I don't know where the mouth went then, but absolute plays by Jambo. Gets that important kill. Left out, does drop Crookie, and we're starting to see that kill feed again go worryingly blue. 20-10 though. British Corey doing everything he can as well. Is he going to get that kill? No, unfortunately he is not. Handgun comes out for Divil, but yeah, another performance, realistically speaking, from British Corey, 15 and 14, doing everything he can to keep Mistaken Esports within touching distance right now. Major, only a 1 life differential again, so very, very close. One thing Vitalize Black have been able to do, though, is just being able to get time with the minimal amount of players on that hill. So not getting pushed, they're managing to tag players up before they even get into the hill. Big moment right there, Jambo with another big kill. Manages to tip, gets the handgun out, manages to finish that play, and there is one more player inside there, so he's going to get tagged up as well as Higgy falls and Divil drops a nade straight onto the bonnet of Ross J, and Vitalize Black very close to taking this egg with only 24 seconds remaining, though this is a dangerous time for the boys in blue.
Yeah, so 11 lives plays 12. And now, can they manage to get that 8 point done? They can. So an additional minute is going to be on the clock, and Ross J is going to use that as an opportunity to just absolutely fly here through the side. And oh no, he's not going to be able to get in towards that alley area. He will get taken down. A nice shots there, but subsequently a nice nade from Snake as he lands it right on the bonds there of Divil. Felix should get traded out here by Crookie as he takes down one. Good work there from Crookie, who is just struggling at the moment. But if he can come into his normal form that we're so used to seeing, it wouldn't surprise me here if Mistaken Esports really start to get some momentum going here. Ross is just going to try and check up towards P1 as he tries to come across his difficult obstacle there, which was the rock, and Crookie's going to make him pay for the time that it took him to get up towards P1 as he grabs that kill, and now 45 seconds left on the clock. Vitalize Black here. This attacking round hasn't been quite what it was in that first one as Corey manages to cut down a few more. With 3 lives left, this is looking pretty much done.
Yeah, absolutely Mistaken Esports across the board looking really strong, but look at that player who's decided, you know what, F-Dot, I'm going to be the man of this game right now. 20 and 15, he's on a 4 streak right now, only 2 off being the kill leader, 24 seconds remaining, and they have got a huge job on their hands. 3 lives, plays 7, so first kill goes out, and with 18 seconds, someone is going to need to get aggressive. We are going to see that player get tagged up, so it's going to allow Ross J that opportunity to push onto the kill. Is he going to get caught in the cross? Of course he is. Luke with the big brains, just watching that push down middle. In fact, it is a 3 stack from the team of Mistaken Esports, going to make this very difficult. Some windy shots are going to aid that player onto hill, but in the end, he is going to get tagged up for Major. Mistaken Esports starting to look like the team we expected them to perform like on Gavutu Control.
Yeah, so that freak first round now has been completely cancelled, and all of a sudden Vitalize now find themselves in a position where they need to hold the defensive round themselves here. Felix has just slowed down a little bit in comparison to how he came flying out the gates there, and as you mentioned, Corey really starting to come through now for the boys of Mistaken Esports. So can they manage to cause another big moment here potentially in this control? It looks as though it is going to be over towards this B point they will go. Divil is going to be the lone man here at the moment, so he'll do well to keep his head down from all these nades as one. He's going to land right in his back pocket, but Divil does a really good job there to take down one. There are still a few players lurking. You can see on the minimap there, I believe it was Ross trying to work a pinch up through those middle steps. He's not going to be able to do it, so the boys at Mistaken Esports, that B point again, doesn't look as though it's going to come through for them straight away, but what it does do, Pablo, is open up that lane to A.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we talk about the, you know, this is kind of one of the problems we have when we try and talk about strategy is a lot of the times this push to B doesn't work, and in fact costs some time and costs some lives, but obviously this grand final producing completely the opposite with some absolutely mesmeric performances and really good strategies over to B. Well, this time we finally see what it does cost. You know, they're only able to take the first tick in A. We've got 49 seconds remaining and we're at an equal life count. So again, if you don't get that B push right, it can be relatively costly. At a point when you potentially want to take the game, we do see the trades go back and forth towards this A point. Major, with 45 seconds remaining, this could easily get tied up to a 2-all.
Yeah, now Jambo's got an opportunity to cut down so many players on the cross here. Spots Higgy, spots Crookie. Higgy goes in the blender. Corey's going to be up top as well. He gets beamed. Jambo with some really good positioning there to cut off the reinforcements. And now with 28 seconds left here, this is looking very bleak. And Felix is going to do exactly the same here. Spots Higgy, catches him with his trousers down as he gets a kill on towards him. And now Vitalize, they're going to look to try and push up potentially here. But they have managed to let Snake get on towards that B point. But these next gunfights now are going to be absolutely huge here for Mistaken. They need to try and at least help Snake over towards the point, and now we're going to see the glide bomb come through from Felix. It's one where we don't see it very often now, but he gets the pick. Ross grabs one as well, and this is looking really dangerous now for the boys of Mistaken. The rounds are just falling away, and so too are the lives. There's another kill coming through for Ross. They will manage to get Higgy to potentially slip through, though, on towards the point, so he might be able to stop the clock just for the time being, but man, those lives are really falling apart for them now.
Yeah, a 9 life lead right there for Vitalize Black, who just appeared to have come to life in this defensive round. And Ross J just being allowed to maraud. He's on a 2 streak right now. He's on a 5 streak, sorry. He's on a 2 kill there. And it's just huge play. He's potentially going to get himself an important set of things. And this is where he really might need to consider changing things up. Some windy shots, and he's not able to get that kill with Major. That 5 streak right now, if he's able to get himself an early strafing run and even a glide, that could be absolutely huge for Vitalize Black. More interestingly, who is going to start on that defensive side? And this could be another massive factor in determining whether this series gets reset or we see Mistaken Esports potentially go into a huge position.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that it's Vitalize Black. They had a really good round there. They had a lot of lives to work with in comparison to Mistaken Esports. So Vitalize Black now, look at the combined streak. I mean, it just says it all at the moment. 10 across the board there for all of F. Ross, Jambo and Divil. So now in towards the potential map decider here. And Higgy just peeking his head up. I can't get over that animation there. It just looks so odd when you see somebody's head bob. It looks like whack-a-mole, but he manages to get the kill onto Ross with the pistol. It will be the A point that it looks as though the boys are going to try and prioritise first for Mistaken. Crookie is going to be on towards the time. They don't know. Oh, no, they do now as Higgy gets another important kill. He has been quite quiet in comparison to that respawn that we saw in map number 1 as Higgy currently running at 17 and 20. And on the flip side, the boys of Vitalize Black, they are really starting to come into a mode of their own at the moment as Divil's still working on his 5 streak. He will drop, however, and F. Though coming through with 2 big kills himself.
Yeah, huge work, and you've got to really look to the likes of Bearish, Corey, and Higgy. Really needs to step up to the plate. And again, Crookie has had a couple of really quiet rounds, so these players not quite up to the standards that we've seen them play before. And this is testament to Vitalize Black's just aggression and capability. In particular, obviously Felix, who's 31 and 22, but it's been a good performance across the board. Jambo 18 and 18 and Divil 26 and 22 and presently on a 2 streak. So really good plays for everyone in Vitalize Black. They've done some really good jobs of not just contesting the hill but cutting off lanes, getting into spawn and being problematic. And it's going to be Bearish Corey over towards that B point. He's going to get a quick early kill. So it is going to be a 1v1. Right now he is on that B point and maybe potentially able to get some time over. But look how slow it goes. Eventually he gets tagged up by the FFS and Felix and Major. Right now it is 60 in lives, plays 19. We see a strafing run on either side, but they are getting some time, valuable time over towards A.
Yeah, so can the strafing run of Snake be a huge moment here? Felix has worked his way underneath him, so he manages to grab yet another pick at the moment. 33 and 23. Felix still going strong. Mr. Consistent here so far on this map as he now gets himself into an awkward position here for Mistaken, because they are going to have to try and at least take him out because he is just lurking in the back. They do manage to do it though. Good work there from Mistaken Esports. They now look to try and position themselves in one where they can now transition over towards that beach site. You can see though Snake watching all the way down this beach side, going pretty much outside the map as he waits for the next pick for the boys to come through. But now, where will this next kill lie? Because if Mistaken Esports manage to grab a couple out the back here and Snake uses streaks, that will open the door completely. Ross is going to be really busy though in P1. Higgy spots him. He at least manages to take down one. Can he stay alive here for long enough? And he will manage to get out with his life here. So Vitalize Black, really important kills going in their favour. The life counts is now back to even, Pablo. No streaks have been called just yet, but the timer is slowly ticking.
Yeah, I don't know whether he's biding his time. 30 and 22. He's been an absolute pain in the side of Vitalize Black. Snake rolling back the years a little bit. Huge plays from Luke, and he's you know, is he going to call in that strafing run? It is line of sight and it's very difficult to use. Jambo presently on the defense, and you can see that spread right the way across the map. Really unusual. We've got a player there is potentially going to get caught out. I don't know whether he can be seen though. Number 1 and number 5 in particular, F-Dot and Crookie. That could be an important fight right there, and this is going to be just as a big a kill, and it is going to be Crookie managing to get onto the hill. He stops the timer at 21. Are we going to see that strafe? And it is going to be Snake with the strafing run. Is it going to come to damage to Crookie though? No, he manages to get a kill over towards Divil with the strafing run.
Man.
That is insane plays from F-Dot. F-Dot needs to go big. Snake with another huge kill. It's a 6 slash, plays 10 with 21 seconds. This
no.
really good for Mistaken Esports.
Oh my god, Luke is doing save at Private Ryan at the moment. Crookie's just sat down there keeping his head down, and Luke is tearing through everyone. Oh my god, what a moment there from him and his team. Mistaken Esports. Luke was absolute turret mode. They couldn't even touch Crookie on the hill.
Oh my days, that kid just went full AM on them, went full challenger mode. And you know what? I'm a legendary player right now. I am going to take not 4, not 5, but 6 players out of the equation and give that player in Corey the absolute Crookie, the absolute opportunity to take 1.5 ticks of insane amount of time towards the end. One of the craziest Gabutu controls I think we've seen, with two absolutely out of the box attacking rounds to start, and then ending on that absolutely crazy plays. They take A and they take forever to get B, but they do the chop, and what an insane game that was. It ends up being predictably the kind of scoreline we thought it might be, Major, but not in the kind of style we expected.
Oh my goodness, well, that is why Snake Cod, he might be called stiff, but my God, he doesn't miss. He absolutely cleaned out the boys of Vitalize there. He just said, listen, Cookie, keep your head down, mate. I've got you covered, and just beamed player after player after player. And now we go into another respawn, Pablo. Tuscan Hardpoint and Mistaken after that map. Obviously, fine margins as we're used to seeing between these teams, but now we're in a position where this could potentially be Vitalize's Black last map here in this grand final. Mistaken are very, very close to getting it done now.
Absolutely, and this is probably going to be Mistaken's most difficult map. Vitalize Black, a very strong respawn, very strong hardpoint team. Tuscan is definitely going to play to their kind of strengths. I'm sure they're going to have a very interesting conversation now about regain and reset. All these maps that they played won't matter now. This is the most important map of the ACCL season right now for them, and you know, the next two maps mean everything. If they are even able to get this one, then they potentially go into then the most important map, but right now they've got to get through this hardpoint. They definitely have the capability. They definitely got one. You know, I would suggest a slight advantage in terms of their history on respawn, but right now Mistaken as esports, they've got confidence, and you know, that is the one thing. They've got that kind of momentum going into this hardpoint, and they're not going to be any slouches at Tuscan hardpoint. Let's not mistake, this will not be a bail-in 250 to 150. It's going to be a lot closer than that.
Yeah, so can Mistaken esports get it done on the map number 4? If you guys are just joining us, you missed a hell of a few games. It's Vitalize Black now potentially here with their last final map. They're obviously going to try and now push it towards that map number 5, and our last remaining maps, obviously they are both Tuscan, so Vitalize Black now going to try their absolute utmost here to force that game 5. But the boys of Mistaken esports now looking very strong. They've hit the stride, Pablo, that we had a feeling they might do midway through this series. They've done it again here. And obviously Vitalize Black, we know how good they can be on respawns, especially on the likes of a Tuscan hardpoint. But Mistaken esports, don't put it past them here to potentially see this one out, because again, they've got so much talent on this roster.
Yeah, and you know, if you're a Vitalize Black fan and you want some ominous news, this is also probably the point where Mistaken esports are at the strongest at this point in the series. They tend to come back very, very strong. We did warn them at the start of the game that they do tend to drop the first map and then just absolutely dominate for the rest of the series. Well, it has come to fruition, and don't be surprised if this is the case, that they are able to take the grand final in quite some style. But again, I just can't help but see past the potential for the Vitalize Black boys to just go off on one and absolutely dominate this map. But yeah, I think it'll be pretty close. I think you're going to need those players, though, to all go big. They can't just rely on Felix. They just cannot rely on an individual player. They've got to do this as a unit, because I honestly, going into this game, Crookie is not going to have a quiet game. He's going to play really well. Whereas Corey is going to be an absolute nightmare on this map. This is one player for Mistaken esports who can be the X factor. So yeah, it's just you can't, especially when you consider that he's able to drop more kills in the first one than potentially either of the players from the winning team in that map one. So you've got to deal with him. You've got to make sure that he's quiet, and the only way to do that is to rotate effectively and defend your new hill and fight for scrap time. And right now, I would suggest Vitalize have got it in the tank. They can do it, but the question is, what kind of Mistaken esports are they going to face coming into this Tuscan hardpoint? Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, Mistaken are 2-1 up here, and Corey's not been anywhere near what we saw in him yesterday. So if he hits a stride here in this map, this will be Mistaken esports probably all over, to be honest, because the way that he plays, sometimes he can be so hard to solve. We saw him in Elites. Obviously, when they were on the side of Flux, they did struggle through that, but Corey was kind of like the shining light for a lot of that, especially just in terms of kills. He was obviously keeping pace with a lot of the big hitters in Europe, and it wouldn't surprise me here on Tuscan. I mean, we saw the infamous ankle break outside that church door going down towards that B point. He's a player whose movement is absolutely incredible in comparison to a lot of players that we watch in challengers. His movement is up there with, I would probably say, from what I've seen, his is the best movement with an SMG. He's just so fluid with slide cancels, with jump shots. He's just so good with it that he's really difficult to try and pin down. When he starts roaming around hills, and you've got that player that is whipping round, and people are calling out, oh, he's gone long, and the next thing you know, he's around the other side of the building, and you think, oh, bloody hell, we can't track him. He's so hard to pin down at times that when he gets the kills to go with that movement that we know he's very good at. That's why he's so hard to stop.
I think it's one of those weird things. He's played the game that much. I think he puts that many hours into it that now it's second nature for him to understand when to double jump, when to do a single jump, when to potentially slide cancel. You know, for most of us, it's just good enough that we remember to maybe do a jump shot. And obviously, we still see some people go prone as well. We've even seen it today. But he's so fluid, but I think it's just second nature to him now. He's played that much, he's had that much game time that you will see, you know, it's not the same thing all the time. You know, you go and watch someone, you know, a lower down AM, or even you go and watch one of us, we will do the same thing all the time. It'll be a jump shot every single interaction with the occasional, you know, off ADS to get a hip fire. Well, with Corey, what you're seeing is you'll pick the right maneuver to do at the right time. He'll look for the double jump if he thinks he's going to get bodied by an AR. He'll get the single jump if he thinks it's a regular MP40 fight. He'll get slide cancels, and he just does everything so well. And you're right, his movement is absolutely second to none. He makes players look ridiculous at times, and we saw it last night as he sent players on thin ice and sent them skating over towards ramp, and it was a shock. I mean, literally, it took your breath away when he did it, because it's something you just do not see, is that kind of movement, and married with that kind of accuracy as well.
Yeah, but then on the flip side, I mean, this is the beauty of having these kind of levels of players at this one. Obviously, Vitalize Black, you know what Ross can do. We know what Divil can do. Jambo and Felix, again, they're players that can go off at any moment. Obviously, Felix had a really good Gavutu there. Obviously, it was just it just felt like that final play from Snake was just kind of god tier and kind of really got them that round sorted. And it was one that it just felt inevitable, really, where Luke enters that kind of form. He's so difficult to stop. Even people call him stiff, but when you got a player that doesn't miss like he does, he's so hard to take down from some of these positions. And Vitalize Black going into this one, they're going to obviously be looking towards their team of four, kind of as a unit, really, to try and stop the more explosive players that we're used to seeing the boys of Mistaken have. Obviously, Crookie, again, he's a man who can go absolutely huge on maps. Higgy as well. It feels like every single player from every single team we can go between and say these players have the ability to take over maps. It's just a case of who can do it more consistently. I think is going to be the defining factor, especially in this hard point now.
It's going to be an F. Corey face-off, I think, essentially. You know, if another player manages to get onto the rise, it's really going to be in support of either of those players. I think both teams are looking to those players as well to do well. Obviously, with regards to Luke and his AI, I mean, you can accuse him of being stiff at times, but even as stiff as player is going to be a turret at some point and drop 4 or 5 players, especially when they're desperate. He times that so well. You know, the players need to get onto the hill. There's not a lot of time. They know there's only one player on the armored troop carrier, so the temptation to just flood must be overwhelming. And there is Luke, just that railgun just causing absolute havoc. So, I mean, it works at times. It's perfect for that kind of setup. It's perfect at times when you need to hold down a hill from distance or support your SMG players. So definitely got its place in the lexicon of Call of Duty. But again, you know, I think this is going to be a Corey F. kind of face-off more than anything else. Don't get me wrong, we know Higgy, you know, we said at the start it might be a Higgy F. face-off, but Higgy again can just go huge right now. I just feel like he's not kind of playing at his maximum, and it's largely in part the fact that nearly all the players are reasonably evenly matched, so that is also a huge factor. You know, there isn't a huge skill disparity between any of the players realistically. We did see F. have a difficult game, but that was less to do with his skill and more to do with the team just not really being there effectively to back him up with trades, or potentially, you know, allow him to run that AR correctly as he was using across in Bocage. And it's a difficult one to use anyway for him, so, you know, problems afoot there. This is going to be massive though, and do not be surprised if Bearish Corey drops, you know, a 40 or more. And the same for F. really, but the question really lies, those two players can go huge. They could easily drop 40 to 50 kills and still lose the game. So it's about also making sure that you get that. You'll see the stat at the end of the game that is a kill to hill time, and, you know, the team with that absolute, you know, they're dropping 3s and 4s in kill to hill time, that's going to be your winning team right there.
Yeah, and Dara wants to sue you. Sue! There you go. Thank you very much, buddy. So, guys, apologies for the delays. We just had to wait for Mr. Bearish Corey there just to restart. Apparently he was pinging at 120 for pretty much most of those maps. So that's probably why we haven't really seen much of him. But for any of you guys who are just hopping on board with us, we are due to start our map number 4 very, very shortly. Tuscan Hardpoint is going to be the factor potentially here between either of these two teams, whether or not Vitalize can force that game 5 in towards that Tuscan Search and Destroy. Whether Mistaken will get it done in the first best of 5 in 4 maps and take it 3-1. And kind of focusing on the Tuscan, Pablo, we know kind of how important, we've talked about it a few times, that transition from P5 to P1. A lot of teams, with how close some of them can be, we saw it yesterday, didn't we? The rotation from P5 to P1 can really make or break a team if they don't pay too much attention to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the second rotation, I mean, we see this in a lot of the maps. The second rotation starts to really split the teams up. We start to see that especially if there's not really a difference in score over the whole of the first rotation. But then we will see that. I think in Tuscan, we tend to see the weaker teams fall apart on that P2 to P3 transition. Obviously, P5 to P1 presents its own problems, but again, you can defend from wrong side. We've seen both these teams do quite well from the wrong side to P5 and then make the transition. I think for the weaker teams, it's getting at any time over towards P3. I think if you're behind and you're not making that effective change, it's the longest of the routes. And again, that's married by the fact that if you're not able to kind of compete effectively in church as well, Major, none of that's going to be a problem for either of these teams. They're both good teams. They're both smart players. It's going to come down to that one player who can hold the new kill and maybe get 1 or 2 kills, and then maybe fight for the scrap time as well. We've seen it before. We look to players like Loki who can do that so effectively. Either of these teams are going to need that player right now.
Yeah. So now here we are in map number 4 with Mistaken Esports right on the edge of taking this grand final here, and the boys of Vitalize Black are going to do their absolute utmost here to stop them from doing it. And Corey, the man who's been touted as being such an up-and-coming player here, only able to grab 1 pick on that occasion, but the boys of Mistaken, they are going to have that more preferred side for holding the larger chunk of time. But Jambo, really good work there just to clean out 1 player off the heady. Crookie is going to use that as potentially an invitation to either go in towards bottom church or just lurk for the time being. Ross, however, is just going on a bit of a pinch here, so the contest time is coming through for both respective teams. It looks as though the kills finally come through for the boys in red. Divil, though, not willing to give this up just yet. Corey is just going to double back here to try and help him out, as there are a few players here as he takes down 1. Can the trace come through cleanly enough? There's nice work there from Higgy. Manages to grab another one. The pre-fire around the corner. He knows there's another player pushing him in the back, and Higgy, there you go. Just what you want from him. 3 in a row now, but now his boys have to try and win this rotation.
Yeah, I mean, they managed to keep spawns, and I don't know whether they've realised that, but they didn't really rotate at all, the team in Vitalize Black. They decided to rely on the spawns entirely, and it's paid off for them. There was a relatively late rotation from Mistaken Esports, around about 11 seconds, and again, people just getting tied up into those kills to P1. They got really kind of caught up in the gunfight and not really paying attention to the time, so you would expect that to change over as the course of the match does progress. Right now, though, they're making P2 very, very contested. A little bit of time going away of Vitalize Black. Major with a slender 10-second lead. And right now, no one really getting to grips with this game. Right now, Crookie, the kill leader, 6 and 4. Really very closely supported by Bearish Corey, a player we did point out might be the player that makes the difference. Right now, it is very, very close, but Vitalize Black just turning the lesser kills into more time, which is superb efficiency from the team in blue. Yeah,
and Corey's got some god timing there to slip through. He manages to take down 1. Ross has got a really big job on his hands here. He does have some help coming around the back, though, but Corey going to fly around the corner, and he absolutely fries Ross with the help of his teammate. But Divil takes down 1. You can see Corey is just going to retreat over in towards fire here and just try and lurk. Felix, though, is going to try and push out this lane, and he makes no mistake about it, as Felix now goes on a bit of a streak. He is going to get cut short of any streaks, though. Ross is just going to be watching this whole right-hand lane as his teammates try and get some kills around him, and they do exactly just that. Crookie just hesitating before he is going to push out, but the stun going to land right on his head. The kill feed lights up blue, and really good work from Vitalize Black here on this hill, and they push this lead out even further.
Yeah, and this is what you're going to be concerned about if you're Mistaken Esports, or you're potentially going to get a bracket reset, because that is a 50-second lead, and we are not out of that first rotation yet. And we talked about P3, that P2 to P3 rotation was going to be vital, and it's worked out really, really well right now for Mistaken Esports. Corey plays his life, manages to get the kill. I have no idea what Jambo was thinking there. Decided to go for a stroll despite the fact he knew that player was around the corner. Crazy plays. Felix just looking for that player out towards the back. He's got great shots, but it is going to be Snake. The turret out the back, and they're going to bring this back within 30. Snake, put that away, man. That is dirty what you've just done to that boy. with a handgun right there. And Major, this is just starting to slip away again. Vitalize Black going to be on that kill time. And right now, you know, Mistaken Esports not really getting the challenge in, and they're looking a bit off the pace despite the heroics of Bearish Corey.
Yeah, Snake just lurking out the back there, but his teammates, oof, well, there you go, hold that, as he ripped straight through the face of Divil. But again, those important kills, we flag them up time and time again, and they are going in favour of Vitalize Black seemingly every single time. Another kill coming through for Felix. He does spot Luke on towards the back, and he gets yet another one there. So good work from Felix, as he's now going to look to get on towards the hill once again. 15 seconds still remaining on this time, and his teammates, though, will not have that rotation over towards the tiles side. But with the lead currently standing at the moment, they're going to have to look really to this important hill now. Can they get the kills? Higgy, big win there to take down Divil. It will look as though the boys are mistaken. Will have that initial control, but they've got to keep an eye on Ross because he's going all the way around the back.
Yeah, I think he's been red number 3 there, and Corey has just read that, so he's going to be a nuisance. We are going to see, because the way that it is, Ross J is pushed all the way out, the boys from Mistaken Esports are going to get relatively close spawns, so this is going to give them a good opportunity to get that kind of time over towards tiles. No one on the hill at the minute. It is going to be that player in Crookie who does fall, pushing out very aggressively over to the side of Vitalize Black. They managed to get themselves back on the hill, but right now, Major, they're going to need to get an absolute chunk of this time, and when Ross J is bodying plays like that, he is going to fill the kill with ordnance right there. Not able to get the kill, but I guess he's going to get that in there. A slight bit of ordnance goes out, but that's a huge kill from Hickey right there, 11 and 14. And again, Major, one player we pointed out is someone we expect to dominate at least one map in the series. And Hickey having a relatively quiet series right now and might be hindering Mistaken Esports, and why they're 60 seconds behind. Huge map for them right now on the rotation, as you talked about before the game. This big rotation to P1,
Crookie.
all important.
Yeah, big brains there from Crookie to check that corner. If he flew past there, it could have been a couple of kills there for Ross. So good work there from Mistaken as they now get on towards the time. Higgy is going to win his gunfight over towards his side, but number 6 Ross has slipped through the net here, so there's one for him. He's going to potentially look onto another here. Crookie is just going to try and keep his head down while his teammates are going to try and converge. You can see there Snake is watching the entire of that side, and number 1 and number 4 there. Higgy going to combine with a couple of shots there. Higgy will manage to finally get the kill, but he gets cut short just of any streaks. I don't believe either side have streaks to work with. No, they don't. So still pretty much even. Vitalize Black, though, they still have that lead for now. Can they manage to push it out even further? A big kill comes through to take the man off the hill, so Ross will fall, and number 5 Felix is going to look to try and at least get involved in this one. Higgy, though, just waiting around the corner. Higgy, though, is going to get shot and taken down. Felix still just playing this patiently. His teammates look as though they're going to try and grab the kills and push through before they wait to try and work towards that P2, and now Crookie doing his utmost just to stay alive.
Yeah, really nice plays from Mistaken Esports. They decide to choke the hill. You know, it's given Vitalize Black a very small chunk of scrap time, but that's got them really nicely set up for P2. It is going to be a big fight now. Snake is on his own out the back, and they really need to get these kills as the boys from Vitalize Black push kind of across the almost the meridian of the map as they push through that middle portion and get the kills. This is worrying. If you're Mistaken Esports, you were in a position where P2 rotation was entirely yours. You had the opportunity to get set up, and they've been absolutely sliced through right now. So, you know, we felt like Vitalize Black are a very solid respawn team, and they potentially would be able to go on to win this, but they are doing it in the kind of style that we saw in the first half. Point. Mistaken Esports with a really difficult, you know, moment right now. They're potentially in a position where they're going to head into a game 5 because Vitalize Black just look absolutely disgusting right now.
Yeah, every single kill that is needed, they just seem to grab it at the moment. Snake's going to be busy over towards this P5 side. He's not going to win that one. Higgy, though, can he cut off a few of them? Divil straight out the window. All the windies there from Higgy. He's going to take down one. Divil, though, going to surely go for the rechal, and he will trade him out. So as he progresses over towards tiles, Corey's going to try and potentially reflank this. Oh, that was a rogue spawn there. Higgy's just going to shoot Divil surely. Oh, no, never mind. Just the trigger finger getting the better of him on that occasion. Divil, though, going to go for the re-pick, and Higgy doesn't miss that one as he cleans him straight out towards the back. He will go, and there's some big kills coming through from Mistaken right when they need it to. Ross is just still playing his life for the time being, and Divil will manage to get in towards the top of fire surely now, but the trade again from Crookie is going to be there. So Mistaken Esports at the moment, they're holding a decent amount of time, but they need to keep the man alive on the hill. They can't manage to do it. There's one for Higgy. Can he get the second? No. Jambo again with an enormous moment to take the man off the hill. So Mistaken, although they've still got a bit of a presence out the back, they're just struggling to get players on the hill, and Divil at the moment is just shooting absolute beams as he tries to get Crookie off the back. Heady as well. He will keep his head down for the time being, but again, it's the boys of Vitalize Black that get the scrap time.
Absolute plays across the back from Vitalize Black. huge moment right there. We saw a big kill. Felix managing to get the kill on a player who was flanking through from top fire all the way through L, and potentially would have been able to get a 3-piece while Felix was there to cut that off. And that's essentially gave the boys from Vitalize back not just a scrap time, but it's pushed them over that 200-second mark. And right now they are very, very close to going 100 seconds ahead of Mistaken Esports, who have been all at sea despite the heroics of Higgy, who's 25 and 23. The rest of the team have been absolutely off the boil. Crookie probably more than anyone else, Major. One player we do look to be considerably consistent all the time. Well, he's not just not having a game when you've got Divil dropping threes like that. This is a problem. Vitalize Black looking very, very strong right now. Major, I am getting a very strong smell of Game 5.
Oh my goodness. Well, Higgy, can he show up right when he needs to? There's only one kill available for him on that occasion as the trades come through again. But now the team shots, are they going to be good? No, Ross just has absolutely none of it as he cuts through even more players. Crookie, surely the team shots come through to take down that last man in Crookie. So again, it's now going to be down to Mistaken Esports to really try and hold this next hill. But every single time it feels as though Vitalize Black just keep punching in. And nice work there from Higgy. A lot better there from him. Manages to secure that side of it. But they've got to be careful from Ross in mid. He's been such a menace this map at the moment. Ross, he just gets all those important gunfight wins. And again, there's another one allowing his team to potentially push in towards the hill. Higgy, though, needs to try and stay alive. This is a huge moment here for Higgy because coming through the bottom is going to be none other than Ross. Can he manage to take Higgy out the hill? He's going to fly around the corner, but Higgy, a huge gunfight win from him. His teammates are still going to try and reinforce him. Vitalize Black, they do obviously have that preferred side, and they're going to nade Corey out of the hill. It is getting really messy inside of the hill at the moment. It feels as though the collapse is inevitable. F-Dot with one nade kill. Ross with another. Ross with a second as well as he manages to start chewing through the players, and Divil cleans the last man out of the hill. 4 seconds remaining. Somebody has got to touch the time. I don't think they're even going to be able to do it, and no, they're not. Vitalize Black push it to the Game 5. Pablo, we cannot complain about that one bit.
Man, Vitalize Black just chewed through them like butter. Unbelievable how they're able to break through the hill time after time. Like Mistaken Esports don't even exist in Hardpoint, despite the heroics of Biggie. The rest of the team completely off for the boil. And who's there but F-Dot, Ross J, Divil, all on 27. Huge plays, and again that consistency in Hardpoint from the team in blue absolutely gets them to the position where they are one game away from resetting the bracket, and they've got to go huge, and they've got to take this momentum now. They cannot have a repeat performance of that game 2. They cannot come out of a solid Hardpoint where they did so well and then get absolutely destroyed in an S&D. They need to take this and need to go huge, because this S&D right now it's all the money in the bank right there is waiting on this S&D. Huge plays are needed.
Yeah, so there's the confirmation, guys. Vitalize Black is going to really do the magic here, and it finally gets them over the line to push that Game 5 out. So I tell you what, take your pick here. The way these two have been going, we know that Mistaken are very, very good at managing to win these search and destroys. So can Vitalize Black manage to do it on the Tuscan? I mean, the way it's going at the moment, Pabs, again, we're in a position where we could call it for either sides, really. It's one where, I mean, on paper, Mistaken Esports, you're saying, right, they are probably the stronger of the two on search and destroy, but Vitalize Black, take nothing away from them, they might be able to pull a wild card out on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Listen, F-Dot had an absolutely shocking S&D. Do not expect that performance again. I expect them to go a lot bigger. I expect them to really look back on that and use that as motivation for him to go on and do something way bigger. But again, I mean, it doesn't matter about individuals. It's wild to see the disparity between these two sides, and almost a kind of like complete juxtaposition in terms of philosophy and strategy. You know, you've got one team that literally cannot play Hardpoint to save their lives, but they are absolutely awesome at S&D. The strategy is really good. They are on point in terms of gun skill. And again, the other side, the Vitalize Black, who just seem to have respawns nailed, but then get into S&D and fall apart. The strategies aren't correct, they're not trading efficiently, and they're letting probably their best player become their most exposed player. So it is a regain. But Tuscan, again, is probably one of the most preferred S&Ds. It's definitely one of the most practiced. I don't think anyone really wanted to touch Bakaj S&D at the start of this game. So again, it could go either way. Don't be surprised if we see a game 11, but equally don't be surprised if Mistaken Esports absolutely go ham again and win 6-2, 6-1. Lots to play for, mate. Right now, there is a bracket reset on the line, or there is £800 split between the 4 players on the line as we approach what could be the most important game in the ACCL Super League and any league right now.
Yeah, so with the prize pool that's on the table here for these lads, this is the most important search and destroy game they've probably played in a while. So Can they manage to work some magic? And this man right here, Bearish Corey, he has been an absolute menace to many teams in Search and Destroy, but one man on the other side who's going to try and do his best is Felix, and he gets the first blood there on towards Snake. Corey is still lurking over towards this side, but the bomb now is going down from Crookie. So now, can they manage to work something here? Bomb goes down, and now can they get a retake here? Divil is just going over towards P5, but you can see, though, Corey just going to reposition himself here, and he might get some good timing here. There's going to be one above him. Oh, no, never mind. It's going to be awful timing. He's been spotted, and he gets taken down. Divil able to grab one kill. Can he get another one? No, he's going to get traded out by Crookie, but now 2 versus 3. 25 seconds left on the clock. You can see the blue arrows at the moment. Higgy, he is going to have so many players looking to push him, and Higgy, oh, he can't even get one. So now Crookie just needs to try and play his life. Can he hide? No, he can't. The boys in blue sniff him out and take round number 1 with the defuse.
Absolute plays. We did not see that in the first S&D. It was the complete opposite, in fact, as we saw that team might come in from mistaken. So Vitalize Black doing a great job to turn the tables, and that's going to be an important round on the board. They really do need to back this up if they want to reset this bracket. And the question you've got to ask is, Major, do you think complacency comes into play at all? Do you think Mistaken Esports think, well, we've got another 5 games, maybe we can do it then? Or do they want to see this game out dramatically now? Because honestly, that felt a little lackluster, and we can see F-Dot, did he pull out the sniper then? But right now, every player on Vitalize Black with a kill, that's a huge performance from the team right there.
Yeah, I don't think complacency will be a thing for Mistaken. Knowing Luke, he'll probably just want this done so he can go to bed or get some food. So let's see whether or not him and his team can manage to do it. So nade straight over the top. Isn't going to get a pick though, so bomb will go down almost instantly. Crookie has managed to get himself in towards middle though. So if he can manage to get some good timing onto a couple of players, or spots one, there's a pick. And tell you what, this is a round and a half here from the boys of Mistaken. So now it's all going to be on Jambo. Last man up here. And they're just sticking the defuse here. I don't even think he's going to be able to touch this one. Crookie's just not hesitating. They know where he is. He's sticking the defuse. He's going to get the progress to come through. And that is going to be a solid round there from the boys in red to tie it back up.
Major, I want that immediate diffuse trademarked between us, mate, because that is our diffuse right there. We tell them time and time again, get that diffuse down, because it absolutely works. And honestly, in the way maybe 50 times we've seen a diffuse go down immediately, I think it's failed once. So definite plays right there. Mistaken Esports with the big brains managed to do it, but they're relying quite heavily on Crookie in order to keep them in this game. There's Corey and Snake definitely approaching struggle bus territory. This is going to be huge. Crookie going to try and get himself to that exposed position again. He gets the shot out, manages to get through that same middle route. At some point, I think the boys from Vitalize Black are going to realise that nade was absolutely timed to perfection. Again, Snake with a nade that lands straight onto the bonnet of Poro. Ross J right now, Major, as we hit that 1 minute mark, it is going to be a 4v2.
Yeah, so Snake with 2 important kills here. Just dancing with death with the heady there, and manages to get his third of the round. He's now 1 away from the ace here. Last man up will get traded out and dropped. So Mistaken, another round on the board for them here. And Luke, really good work from him. 3 picks, 1 with an nade, 2 with the auto. And we'll see the final kill here from Higgy to take down Jambo. And this is the worrying side here of Mistaken. When they get going on Search and Destroy, this is what you come to expect from this roster. And at the moment, they haven't really put a foot wrong apart from that first round.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was a very aggressive round from Vitalize Black. And I think the guys from Mistaken Esports, one thing we do know they're quite good is they take that information on board. They're really able to assimilate it quite quickly and then regurgitate it into what is a coherent strategy right now. Corey, the one player we usually look to go off with the hyper-aggression, is just struggling at the minute. But it doesn't matter because the rest of the team, and in particular, obviously, Luke and Crookie doing really, really well. Bomb is going to go down. Divil is going to get that first blood, so this is definitely advantage for Vitalize Black. And oh my days, Crookie with this quick scope right there as he drops Divil. It's going to be a 30 seconds, and it's going to be a 3v2 right there with Vitalize Black.
Tell you what, this next pick's huge. This next pick is huge. Crookie going to get on towards the bomb surely any second now. They're desperately trying to clear players out. Oh, I thought for a second there he was going to win that. I'll tell you what though, Corey's just sticking this. I don't even know if they can see this. Number 7 Jambo's going to have to go huge. He at least takes the man off the bomb. He's just going to play this smart. He knows he doesn't have to chal it. Crookie is just going to be waiting for him around the corner, and a nice couple of kills coming through there for him. So Vitalize Black take a round back, and the waft, Pablo, it's slowly lurking.
Absolutely, man. You know, absolute plays. But if that snipe goes over to top fire, that is a totally different round. But great play from Jambo to tie the team up, and that's 2-2, and we are getting that slow smell of game 5 as these teams not able to really take advantage. Not one player, Jambo 5-1, a little under the radar, but right on the other side you've got Crookie as well, 5-3. So Right now, it is even Stevens right the way across the board. 2 all in rounds, 2 all in games. And this has been huge right now. And again, the quick stuns go out. Crookie again with a reasonably predictable push through mid. And I wonder what point he is going to change his route up. Jambo already waiting for that push.
Team killed.
Did he see the second player? And isn't F. Dot drops Crookie and Major as we hit the 1 minute mark. It's going to be F. Dot on his own in a 1v2.
Yeah, and he team killed there, Jambo. He managed to top Divil in all of that. So now it's going to be Felix. Last man up. And Higgy is just going to plant this bomb over towards A, so it looks as though a pretty standard setup here for the boys of Mistaken Esports, as Higgy is going to try and watch one side while his teammate Snake watches the other. And now is Felix going to get some good timing here to check the right corner. They're both going to be hanging around each other. Still playing back-to-back, and obviously first protocol, clear out top fire. Looks as though he's just going to check this one first to see nobody's over the top of the bomb, and now he's running out of time. He's got to be quick. Higgy's surely going to spot him there. Into you he goes. Yeah, Higgy gets the kill, and Mistaken Esports take another round.
Yeah, absolutely. A lead that they probably deserved. I mean, it just again goes to show just how difficult the 1v2 is. After having to check a load of corners before he can even consider getting to bomb, and then he gets tagged up in U, which is again reasonably predictable. But it's so difficult to choose which side you're going to take, which way they're looking. And again, those 1v2s, those clutch moments are so very, very rare. Vitalize Black on the descendant, they're not really on the descendant, you would say. 3-2, they're still well within this. You would suggest again, if Ross J and Divil could maybe just get themselves a few kills, they're going to tie this back up. But Major, this is going to bounce back and forth right now. Big kills go down towards J. It's Jambo again, being that big playmaker for Vitalize. He is going to just hide himself and play his life, look to regen from any of the stuns that may have tagged him up. Corey going to get that? No, he gets absolutely danced on by Felix. And that is going to be a 4v2. And Vitalize Black potentially going to be able to tie this round up again, Major.
Oh, that's a big kill there from Higgy. That's a huge kill. They've still only got 28 seconds left to work with here, though. But Snake gets another one, so now 2 versus 2. And now can Higgy managed to get the next pick? Oh, the timing. Oh, the timing. He's going to get another one. So now it's all on number 8 in Divil. He's getting spotted as well. He's getting tagged up. He's just got to try and stay alive here. He can't afford to push anything simply, but they're going to get on the bomb. Oh, and Snake wall bangs him through the ball. Through the wall. I'm thinking football. He manages to get the kill and a huge round there on the board for Mistaken. They manage to get another round win. They push the cushion out, and Luke with some important kills. Him and Higgy clutching up right when they needed to.
Yeah, that is big plays right there from your in-game leader. He manages to get the pick, and it's huge right there for them. They get that 2-round advantage. We've seen it before, though, but they were able to see this out in the first one. This is massive right now. Vitalize Black going to need to have a huge reset and huge regain. They've really got to look to those 3 players. Ross J and Divil are not playing good Call of Duty right now. They're not trading effectively, and they're getting killed quite easily in first blood. So right now, Mistaken Esports with the big advantage. And, you know, I got asked the question, do you think potentially having that 2-round advantage is going to change the way they play at all? Definitely not complacent, mate, to eat my words a little bit there. And Luke goes off, and it's 2 players down, Major. Make that a team kill. That could help Vitalize Black. F out in a 1v2 at 1 minute mark, Major.
Oh my goodness, he almost managed to do the unthinkable there. Holy Kobe, hold that. I'll tell you what, if that lands, it's not going to, though. I thought for a second then it might. Oh, Felix is just going to get beamed, though. He peeks it for a split second, and Mistaken Esports right on the precipice of taking this game now.
Mate, we have been inside the ACCL Season 2 for an immense amount of time. We have been absolutely looking forward to every game in it, and we are potentially 1 round away from crowning the champions. Can Vitalize Black, though, do the honours? Can they manage to make the impossible happen one more time, mate? We have seen a 4-round bounce back a number of times over the last few weeks. Can Vitalize Black, though, do the unthinkable? Are we going to see an ascendancy from Divil, Ross J, or F Dot right now, Major?
Oh, first blood. That is what I will say. First blood is going to be huge. Bomb goes down, though. Ross J is going to now stick it. Higgy. Oh, his teammate Snake. There's the first blood. They managed to get it. And now this next pick will be massive. Divil is still watching down this long side of the map. And number 6, Ross, has got some... Oh, I thought he got some god timing there onto a couple of players. There you can see, though, there's going to be a few players on the side of Mistaken that are ready to push out through bottom church. They're just going to check their respective corners, and Divil gets a pick with the sniper, so now 3 versus 3. But now it's just going to be time that is going to be the issue here. Divil is just watching over towards middle back, but you can see there's so many players flooding over towards him, one of which, so Divil manages to take down one, but can Higgy clutch up? There's one for Higgy. It's now going to be all on Ross J. Can he work some magic? He's going to fly down. He's going to try and check the bomb. Is he going to get the shots in enough? I think. Oh, I don't think he got the defuse. He didn't. He didn't have enough time to grab the defuse, so bloody hell. Vitalize Black breathe a huge sigh of relief.
This is insanity right there. You've really got to look at that player, Top Church. He just does enough to tag them up with the windiest shots in the world. But you know what? If you just take their mind off the bomb, that is huge right now. You know, a 2-round differential means nothing. You've got to play round 2 rounds right now and Vitalize Black got to reset, got to regain, and this is huge right now for this team. They are absolutely got to go off, and Devil, man, absolute in his hands right there. 5-3 major. We are still on match point, and there is still potentially everything to play for.
Oh, and Devil, is he still going to stick with this sniper? He is. Can he manage to rip a wig off here? There is going to be a man in Higgy right around the corner, but the nade. Higgy gets the first blood, and now the bomb's going to go down. Are they going to try and nade this man off the bomb? They are going to cook him up something special. Can they land the nades, though? Over the top it goes, and the Felix and Jambo both get kills with nades, so they reply. It's just been nades and nothing but so far. But Corey out in mid, he can't win the gunfight. They're still alive with this one. Higgy, though, playing his life over towards P1. He gets traded out, and Vitalize Black, they will take another round.
I can't cope, Major. I cannot cope. It was a 2v2 at one point. 24 seconds remaining, and the diffuse is going to go out and Vitalize Black. I've got one more round to take us potentially to that round 11. They literally need to do this one more time and go big. We get to the round 11, and it is anyone's game. And right now, you've got to suggest this. If they're able to do this, this is one of the biggest comebacks that we've seen all season long. They are one round away from that madness that is a round 11. Have Mistaken Esports got it within them to see this through, or are they going to fumble the ball at the final hurdle? Huge moment right now. Vitalize Black on the ascendancy, Major. Ross J's got bomb.
This will be a monumental comeback. Oh, he's got to try and stay alive here. Is the nade going to land right on his head? There's one nade. He's going to stay alive, and he gets the bomb down, so that's a huge moment there. But now, meanwhile, over towards this side of P5, there is a bit of a standoff, and we are going to see a glide bomb coming through now. Higgy, can he get a pick with it? No, he can't. So the glide bomb's out, but Snake gets first blood again, so Mistaken. They are now in another good position, but Jambo's going to be busy. He can't get the kill, and now a kill goes in favour, and another one goes in their favour, so now it's all on Felix. Oh my god, he's in such a difficult spot. There are red arrows everywhere. F-Dot gets one. There's still so many players around him, though. It looks as though they might try and get another one. Oh my god, Felix, don't you dare! Don't you dare! No, he's not going to be able to, and Bearish Corey is going to be the last man standing. Mistaken Esports will be crowned your Season 2 ACCL champions, and deservedly so. Vitalize Black do their best, but it is not going to be enough.
Higgy, absolutely huge plays in that game to drag Mistaken Esports to that grand final winning position in the ACCL Season 2. Huge props to him as he drops 10 in S&D in the final game and drags his team to Bearish Corey very deservedly on the defuse. Huge plays, but GG's to Vitalize Black in what has been one of the most exciting series that we've seen, and finally probably one of the most predictable series that we have absolutely seen. Game 5 all the way, they weren't able to reset the bracket despite heroics in Hardpoint Major, but again, it's that S&D that not only keeps Mistaken Esports rocking, but that Gav control. I mean, if you're going to be playing this team, you've got to be picking Tuscan control, and you've got to be picking some more difficult S&D, because they are absolute masters. Imagine winning a grand final and not taking a hardpoint. That is insane plays right there.
That is exactly why Search and Destroy, we say it time after time, it wins you tournaments, and it is going to crown the boys of Mistaken Esports as the champions of the Super League. And they are fully deserved champions. They've come through that winner's bracket. They've gone all the way now. And, oh, geez, OMG, a Cloud, gifting 5. Thank you very much, man. What an absolute legend. Thank you very much for your generosity, brother. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that one as much as me and Pabs did. An incredible grand final. And congratulations there to Mistaken. Commiserations, though, to the boys of Vitalize. That almost was an incredible comeback from those lads. And Mr. F. in the chat, GG's there. Love to see it. And, wow, I mean, what an ending. So an incredible night once again of Call of Duty. It will be Mistaken Esports, though, as mentioned. They managed to secure the big chunk of cheddar. And, oh, Mr. Dempy with another 10 gifted. Thank you very much, man. Honestly, you guys, the support you show to the channel, new and old, thank you very much, Mr. Dempy. What an absolute legend. Can we get some love in the chat for Dempy and Cloud for those?
GG's to Dempy is going to be a happy bunny right there, I think.
Yeah. So, guys, that is going to be it for Season 2. But don't worry, Season 3 is only just around the corner. We'll have another one of these to go very, very shortly. We will just have a quick look to see if there is anyone that we can potentially raid. Who shall we raid? Oh, my goodness, there's a few players to pick from. Let's go for Dane. Why not? Dane's an absolute legend. Love a bit of Dane. So we'll show Dane a bit of love with the raid. Again, guys, thank you very much to everyone who has tuned in, new and old. And a big congratulations there, as mentioned, to the boys at Mistaken. They will beat the team coming away ever so slightly more happy on that one. But that is going to be it from myself and Pabs, guys. Thank you very much for everyone who has joined in to the stream, new and old, and we will catch you guys very, very shortly for the next season of ACCL action, and we'll see you as well this weekend for EU Challengers Elites. Me and Pablo will be covering that again, so a big shout out to the guys.
This time out, guys, get yourselves on to Clutch GG nice and early, because we are going to be on from the morning period until the early evening or early afternoon, so it's going to be exciting, and it's going to be a lot of the players that you've seen in this ACCL season, as the representation hits the kind of 40 and 50% mark across the board, and even more. I think it was 58 in the previous elite, so do keep your eyes peeled for that, and I guess a lot of you guys are going to be taking part, so if you are taking part tomorrow, good luck, and we hope to be casting over you, and hopefully you're going to make it till Sunday.
Yeah, so thank you very much, guys. It's not letting me raid Dane. Why is it not letting me raid him? I will just try and make sure that... Why is it not letting me do it? It's not letting me raid him. Has he just recently turned his stream off? I'll double check. It's DQNE. It's not letting me raid him. I'm fuming. I'm trying to raid him. It's not letting me. Oh no, it's an ad. Well, I'll try and get it to work. But in the meantime, guys, thank you very much for everyone who has joined in. We will catch you guys very, very shortly for some more ACCL action nonetheless, and we'll catch you this weekend for the Challengers Elite. So thank you again, guys. We will see you all later.